Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/Drunken Peasants. Over 150,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. One of my personal favorites is Stephen King's It, which they're making into a movie. Again.
Live from the frigid armpit of America, this is the Drunken Peasants Podcast with Ben and TJ, bringing you opinions of the news from an altered perspective.
Fuck it! Say, man, you got a joint? No, not on me, man.
I don't have facts to back this up.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
What the fuck are you talking about, atheist? It's okay.
You're nothing, TJ. You're garbage.
I just want to be light.
You're garbage.
And now, here are your hosts, Ben and TJ.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live.
Welcome to the Drunken Peasants Podcast, where we DP the fuck out of the news. I'm Ben.
And I'm the Vigilant Christian Mario.
Mario.
My name is Fire.
Are you aware of how much Illuminati imagery you guys have in your intro there?
No. Enlighten us, please. Tell us.
Well, you see all these people with eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen the pyramid with the eye in it.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that's a pretty strong connection right there. The Drunken Peasants. I mean, what are you really saying with that?
We're saying
I don't know. Tell us.
We're peasants that are drunk.
Well, you're saying that the people, the common people, represented by the peasants, are drunk.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, their perception is skewed, and that they should just bow down to the people in power, and that's really the message of your show.
Yeah, it is.
You know, and that's obviously an Illuminati message, a satanic message.
But we admit that.
Oh, okay.
We're totally down with the Illuminati.
None of you guys could get laid in high school like I did.
But didn't you get an STD?
Well, I had to have sex first, so there you go.
Isn't that kind of like sinful though to have relations out of wedlock? You know,
well, that was before I turned to Christ.
But why were you bragging about it then? When you have,
well, I'm just saying, even when I was an atheist and I was able to get as much pussy as I wanted, I could have all the pussy I could get because I was awesome and I was cool and I had big muscles. You know, and I laughed at dorks like you.
Are you sure?
But now I'm enlightened, so that's not the case anymore.
Are you sure you're not repressing some feelings there, Mario?
No.
You sure?
No.
Positive?
No.
Are you sure?
You guys are gonna aggravate my my panic disorder. You know, I'm gonna start crying. So, why don't you just leave me alone? Quit ganging up on me, you atheist.
You still want to be a part of an atheist gangbang? Is what you said?
Oh yes.
Oh.
No, the Vigilant Christian Mario supposed to be on last week's show. Wasn't supposed to be on this week's show. Isn't.
Maybe he will be in the future.
He's still stringing us along, so we'll see. We shall see.
I'm pretty skeptical that he will be on the show, but he can prove us wrong.
Shove your skepticism up your ass, faggot.
Isn't that more your fucking forte?
Hey, Scotty.
Scotty. I like that people are mixing this up now. That's beautiful.
Here's another great song.
Oh God.
In my most recent obsession, and that's with atheism. Now, it's important to understand atheism because it's an important phenomenon. Even though they may be few in number, it has a great effect on all of us.
He's really barely even singing anymore.
Don't be an atheist.
Yeah. He puts forth such little effort.
It's like, if you're gonna do this whole, like, I'm gonna sing everything, at least try to sing everything. Don't just do this lazy, like, halfway singing, halfway talking shit.
I am singing, but not.
That's like William Shatner singing. You know what I mean?
No, because even William Shatner was better than that.
I'm a
rocket man.
Yeah.
Rocket man. You know, at least there was, like, some melody going on. This is just like Atheism is wrong because of the following reasons.
Yes, are whiners. Whiner.
Whiners.
Yes, they are. Have you ever
Yes,
been
they
around them?
are. Atheists whine a lot because they're whiners.
He's going to talk about dark matter and how dark matter's a whiner.
Dark matters are whiny, baby.
For example, take a look at the videos of dark matter something numbers. It's dark matter.
Something
You can find
numbers.
it, animated videos. On one of those videos, the argument is God does not exist because it's not 74 and sunny everywhere. Ever heard the song, I never promised you a rose garden?
What the fuck is that noise in the background?
It's all of his appliances screaming to try to drown out the sound of his voice.
I like that.
It's all. That's why you hear that.
Would it be great if his like dryer and washing machine came on like dun, 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 dun.
You ever seen the movie
"Gotta
The
get
Brave
louder."
Little Toaster? Well, this is
Yes.
like the toaster's covering its ears, like shut up.
Can't really blame it.
Yes.
Yes,
That's the song. To put it around, because you can look at it this way. Are atheists such spiritual wimps they can't stand a single cold day? Now don't get me wrong, I like warm weather. That's why I moved down south. That's why I live in Texas now.
Don't get me wrong, I like warm weather. That's why I moved down south. That's why I live in Texas now.
He does belong in Texas, though.
Shut your fucking mouth.
He probably shares this with his like fellow Christian friends. Like, this is really good because you're preaching the ministry of Jesus Christ.
How many views do these videos get?
Not
typically?
many.
5.
Not many.
5, and they're all and like it's like this guy, a couple of his buddies, and us basically.
That's it.
Yep. All right, so we'll move on.
Yeah.
This is
So
this is terrible.
I thought since he's not going to be on the show, we'll just play one of his fucking videos.
Oh, Vigilant Christian.
Yeah. This is about how the new Star Wars movie is Satanic Illuminati.
Oh, okay, cool. He hasn't even seen it, so he's just I guess he must have used the Force to look into the future.
He used what the minute-long teaser trailer.
Yeah, he figured it out.
He made a 15-minute video about the minute-long teaser trailer.
Wonderful.
The Vigilant Christian presents Exposing Evil and Preaching the Good News of Jesus Christ.
Could have preached it on
Member
the
of
show.
the CTN Christian Truther Network.
Vigilant Christian Mario, and you
Hey,
have
Mario.
an edition of Illuminati Media Exposed. In today's video, I
The
wanted to show
Force
you how the new
Awakens.
upcoming Star Wars movie is again Illuminati mind control. It's going to brainwash the masses and prepare them for the false spiritual system of the Antichrist.
Okay.
So in today's video, I just wanted to introduce you all to a video series I'm going to do specifically exposing Star Wars. So this is just an introductory.
Star
I'm gonna show you
Wars,
some
it's
basic
Illuminati,
things here and what to
it's
expect in my
Illuminati. Can't you all see?
Is he just trying to get views at this point?
I think so.
Yes.
This
The
is
one
so
and only
obvious.
correct answer to that question is yes. But aren't we trying to do that by playing his shitty videos and making fun of them?
Guilty as charged.
Yep.
But at least we're not claiming to expose some, like, massive conspiracy against people. It's like, Star Wars is Illuminati, too, and anything you like, pretty much, is Illuminati.
Anything you like.
Anything you like is bad and evil and is, tied to Satan, the Illuminati,
sinful.
and just shadowy shit.
Star Wars Illuminati
Star
Exposed
Wars,
video
it's Illuminati,
series. Now, the first thing that I want to point out is
give me
the new
views,
movie
Star
coming
Wars
out,
series.
The Force Awakens. What Force? What are they talking about? What's awakening?
Whoa.
The Force?
The Force is the Force, you fucking dipshit. What do you mean?
It's not really up to interpretation.
What
if you know
Force?
anything about Star Wars. It's a fictional universe.
It's Metachlorians, bitch.
Oh, what the fuck, you TJ?
I
You
know.
piece of shit. You should
I had to
fucking
go
be
there.
Ban TJ.
I had to go there.
Ban TJ. Ban
Metachlorians.
TJ. Ban TJ.
Metachlorians.
Fuck you. Didn't happen. George Lucas sucks. Fuck off.
The Force awakens. What do you mean? The Force of Satan awakens.
Probably the force of the
That's what
Illuminati.
he's trying to say.
The Force
here.
of Satan awakens in my ass. Bitch.
Every night.
Every night.
Every single night.
Because if you truly understand media and mind control, you know that
Like I do.
these movies that are considered popular entertainment by the masses, that's not what they are. They are, in fact, mind control operations to prepare people
It's
at a
not
subconscious
entertainment.
level to accept
mind
the
control.
Antichrist.
serve
What?
Darth Vader. Must serve Darth Vader.
Okay, this is so ridiculous. He's saying, well, they may appear to be just harmless movies. They're mind-controlled devices. Like, if the Illuminati exists and they want to control people's minds, wouldn't they already have just build a mind control device? Why would they have to subliminally control you? Why don't they just say, here's our giant mind control device, now we control everyone on Earth to be our slaves?
Because they don't have the technology yet, Scotty.
But they can do it through mass media.
They have to do it.
They can subtly do it, but they can't overtly do it.
Yes,
that makes no sense.
It does.
Okay,
because reasons.
Coming kingdom. So what are they talking about? What force is awakening? I'm going to show you that. But the first thing I want to point out also is the fact that Star Wars has been being used by the elite for a very long time to condition the masses. This is not a brand new movie series. This is an old one, and it's a very popular one. One of the biggest movie series that has never been created here on planet Earth.
And one thing that it does on planet Earth?
It's one of the biggest that's never been created on the planet Earth.
I think we can all agree, even the
Does he think that
should be able to agree.
Does he think that
Star Wars was made on Earth?
No, I think he thinks it was actually filmed on all those other planets.
Time to go to Tatooine. Time to go to Hoth. Yeah, okay. This guy is totally fucking stupid.
No.
He just said, never made on this planet. I mean, I don't... Oh.
No.
I'm sorry, but...
He's smart. He know what he's talking about, brother.
He does not know what he's talking about.
He knows.
That's the problem.
He knows.
Is desensitize the world to the occult, and it makes them desire Eastern spirituality. And I'll show you that by the end of this video, but just to point out...
You're gonna look like Steve Jobs or something. Some weirdo in California. Look at that sign. A bunch of weirdos live there. Weird.
Eastern spirituality. The most scary spirituality.
Obey your Christian masters. Yes. I love Jesus.
It wasn't even invented by white people. It scares me.
Y'all, that's a good point. Oh, shit, man. Let's fucking stay far away from that shit.
Stay away from that ching-chong ping-pong bullshit. Need some good old American Christianity.
You know why they call him Confucius? Because he was real confused about not being Christian.
That was amazing.
Wood, the city is actually named after a witch's wand. Holly was a wood used by pagans. So Holly wood.
No, it wasn't. Hold on. That's not even true at all.
It was a wood used by pagans. They used it.
Hollywood was actually... this is actually ironic given the nature of the town now, but Hollywood was actually founded by conservative Christians. So that's totally false.
Yeah, and I mean, many towns were founded on, like, certain things. Like, this is a mining town, you know? And then it just went in a totally different direction. Just because the town was founded...
But he's saying it has... He's saying the name has pagan origins, but it doesn't.
I'm not even going to that. I'm just saying, like, how ridiculous his argument is. Let's even assume it's true, you know what I mean? Like, okay, it is a pagan. Let's just say that for the sake of argument, it's irrelevant. Most people who live there now have nothing to do with that.
But remember, in the world of the Vigilant Christian, you don't have to consciously even accept any of this shit to be... Like, I guess he thinks... He has this weird thing where, like, Satan can trick you into following him.
Right, and that's just as bad as intentionally
Well, then why does he fault anyone for following Satan?
Because he's retarded.
Because we're being deceived, and we need to wake up.
Yeah, we just need to wake up to the truth as preached by him, the Vigilant Christian.
The moral arbiter of the universe.
The Vigilant Christian is an awesome guy.
To cast spells on people. And that's exactly what this city is doing, but in a way more sophisticated fashion in our modern times. They use media to put their spells, symbols, images that are put at a subconscious thing that are only shown for little frames. And I mean, the sophistication of casting a spell nowadays, mind control, is way more evolved than it was back in the day.
I'd like to hear the Vigilant Christian and Gorilla 199 have a conversation.
It'd just be one delusion versus another.
I think they'd get along on many things, though.
Probably so.
They might get along on some things, but on anything they disagreed on, there'd be like all this contention and debate. Because Vigilant Christian thinks it's all Illuminati, and Gorilla 199 thinks it's all aliens.
Dude, we should get a bunch of conspiracy theorists together in a house in like Hollywood and just film them like... Well, now we're going to give you a meeting with a low-level executive at Paramount and like have them just talking all that crazy shit. This is how we prove that your movie is actually controlling people. They just cut to the reactions of like people like, what the fuck are you on?
But do not be fooled. This is an entertainment capital that is really owned and operated by witches for the very purpose of putting a satanic spell over the minds of the lost world. So
You heard it here, folks. Hollywood is run by witches.
You imagine like 3 witches in a hut, stirring the cauldron, right? Throwing the rat tails.
We're gonna put Ben Affleck in this one.
And they've been doing it for a long time with Star Wars. I'm just going to point out, Star Wars, that's stealing from the Bible. The Bible talks about a war in heaven.
No,
What?
It's about it's a science fiction film where there are space battles. Therefore, it's called Star Wars. It has nothing to do with your bullshit battle in heaven nonsense. Okay.
I'm blown away. I've never heard anyone suggest something so ludicrous.
Also, I think that's commonly missed by a lot of these people. Like, it even says this a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. So this means, like, if you go by, like, let me just say, like, use this as a reference. This means it happened a really long time ago. You know what I mean? So it's not really like this could has any fucking bearing on what he's saying. Like, he doesn't even understand, like, even talking about the context of this series, he doesn't even really understand what the fuck he's talking about. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so obvious he doesn't know anything about Star Wars, and he certainly doesn't know anything about anything else.
Between God, his angels, and Lucifer, the fallen one, the rebellious one, and 1/3 of the angels. So there
Well,
was
maybe he does know about that because he says it's symbolic of the war in heaven, and that happened a long time ago, according to Christians.
He's just using the war as a generic term, though.
Right. I mean, it has nothing to do with any of that. It's to do with space battles and spaceships and shit. It has nothing to do with some... It's not a metaphor for the war in heaven against God and the angels and all that bullshit.
Isn't it... Isn't, like, the original Star Wars based on Hidden Fortress, like, loosely?
Yeah.
A movie. So, I mean, yeah, so it's not even really based upon that. I mean, and that movie was more about, I would say, like the feudal classes of Japan, which I think, wasn't it based on Shakespeare, in fact? Or was that something else?
I don't remember, but a lot of Akira Kurosawa movies were based on Shakespeare.
So, I mean...
but you could trace back the origins of Star Wars to a lot of different sources, but none of them are
biblical.
the Bible.
Yeah.
a war out there in some galaxy, heaven, far, far, far away, and they're just stealing from Scripture. I'll go more into that in the future, but just wanted to point that out.
Wrong.
Now, the obvious thing here that needs to be exposed is the Force itself. May the Force be with you is actually one of the most popular movie lines in all of history. May the Force be with you. What are we saying when we're telling people, may the Force be with you? What's the Force? What are we telling people that should be with them? What are the true
something fictional?
Yeah.
Some fictional force?
I mean, it's basically just...
that certain people can harness and tap into, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically just like a magical or midichlorian-based power that is, like, had by some people. It's basically just like a religion that exists within this fictional universe.
Right. But for some reason, to the Vigilant Christian, there is no such thing as a fictional religion.
There's no such thing as fiction in general. He thinks everything is just symbolic of, like, this giant conspiracy.
Okay, but if you look at the prequels, I don't really see we'd have many problems with Jedi. It's all about self-discipline and not doing drugs and not even having relationships, really, besides, like, platonic relationships, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So these are all, for the most part, abstinent fucking dudes or aliens or whoever, or women, who are just like, we have this very rigid order, but I guess since they're not Christians, it's not okay.
Yep, not Christian.
But I mean, they're really a bunch of goody goods, you know? I mean, they don't really do anything bad.
secrets of the Force.
The cool ones.
Well, that's what I'm going to show you in today's video. So if you go back to the first, I believe it's the first one, the first Star Wars movie, it actually says, and I quote, "The Force is what gives a Jedi his power. It's an energy created by all living things.
It's not the first
It
one.
surrounds
That was
us
in The
and
Empire
penetrates
Strikes
us.
Back.
It binds the galaxy together. A Jedi can feel the Force flowing through him."
You know, the funny thing is, if you replace the Force with God, he would totally agree with that statement. He'd be like, yeah, truth.
Yep.
What are they talking about? Well, in fact, it's just a clever way for the elite satanic Luciferian Illuminati to hide their spirituality and preach it in the form of a movie. They don't go into a pulpit and tell you right off the bat, hey, we're trying to get you into our spiritual system. No.
So is he saying that George Lucas actually believes in the Force and he's making this movie to get us to believe in it?
I don't think anyone who watches the Star Wars movies is like, man, I think they got a good point with this Force shit.
Yeah.
It's obviously influenced by Eastern philosophy, but just because it's influenced by it does not mean it's like endorsing it. It's just an element that we see in reality that's been taken for a fictional, kind of the basis for a fictional religion. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, like how all of the Star Trek aliens are kind of based on different cultures on Earth or different mindsets of people that have existed throughout history.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we can't. It's very difficult for someone to imagine a completely new way of thinking, just for the purposes of writing fiction. So of course you have to kind of use things in the real world as the basis.
Same thing in Star Trek, how most of the alien beings are humanoid.
Right.
Yeah.
There's very few non-humanoid aliens that they encounter.
That's almost just like a special effects limitation.
Exactly.
But I mean, like, it's just a coincidence of how things were written. No one leaves the theater after seeing Star Wars converted to like, I now believe in the Force.
No.
It's like everyone but the Vigilant Christian seems to understand that that's just fiction.
I think he understands it.
I don't know.
They don't do that. They operate in
little.
deception, and they have covert means to effectively preach their gospel, their truth to people, and they do it through movies. So they present the Force, their spiritual beliefs, in a movie like Star Wars, and then people start loving the movie, and therefore are opening themselves.
So the only point of this movie, or this series of movies, is to preach Eastern religion to the world?
Yes.
Yep.
To unintentionally make us convert to these
intentionally.
Okay.
Definitely not unintentional.
No, I mean unintentional on our parts.
Oh, yeah, on our parts. But
yes.
Obviously the movie's intention, according to him, is to convert us all to Eastern philosophy.
So, and then, like, the millions of dollars that they make off the movie, that's just...
That's just icing on the cake.
Yeah.
That just goes to further fund the Illuminati.
All the merchandising and everything. Nothing was more merchandised than Star Wars.
So I guess like George Lucas was probably pretty big in the Illuminati too. Because he sold Star Wars to Disney for $4 billion.
Can you think of a film that's had more merchandise surrounding it than Star Wars?
No, there's none. There's no way. Maybe Cars, but I mean Star Wars has it beat on longevity, so probably not.
Up to accepting the hidden, deeper meaning that is well put in the movie. But what it is the life force is false spirituality. It comes from the New Age movement, and I've exposed this.
It's funny.
Move, TJ.
It's funny that he's saying the New Age movement, but these Eastern religions are not New Age. They're older than his religion.
Don't tell him that.
It's really strange because he's really changing the definition of what he's talking about as he goes through it. He's like, at one point he means like these really old Eastern religions, and he's talking about New Age stuff.
Well, he's talking about Hinduism and Buddhism.
That's what I'm saying.
Way older than Christianity.
Yeah, he keeps changing up what he's talking about, but he's equating it all to be the same thing. That's why it's so confusing.
But it's part of the New Age movement to get you into, a 6,000-year-old religion.
Yes.
But the thing is that he basically views any religion but his own as inherently, like, satanic.
Yeah.
But it's New Age, and it's satanic, and it's Eastern. It's made from movies. That's how they convert people.
The thing that I hate about all of his videos is that, like, almost nothing he's said so far even really needs Star Wars to be mentioned, and he hasn't even actually gotten to talking about anything that was actually in the trailer for the movie.
Do you think he would claim that Scientology is all part of this, or Scientology is its own faction with its own agenda?
I think that he thinks that everything is part of the same thing. Everything that's not his version of Christianity is part of this.
That's so weird. So everyone that's against him is all secretly plotting together.
Yeah.
That's the most paranoid fucking shit I've ever heard in my life.
Why do you think this guy has a video of him breaking down on camera from stress and anxiety? He literally believes like everyone is out to get me in some way.
Do you want to move on?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we should.
All right. So this next video is going to make the argument that religion is more of a rational belief than atheism.
Is it rational to believe in God? Many people think that faith and reason are opposites, that belief in God and tough-minded logical reasoning are like oil and water. They are wrong. Belief in God is far more rational than atheism.
Finally, the truth.
Right.
TJ's actually making a video about something so very similar.
Yeah, but mine was written by Deepak Chopra.
Another fucking idiot apologist.
Deepak Chopra?
Logic can show that there is a God.
No.
All right.
If you look at the universe with common sense and an open mind, you'll find that it's full of God's fingerprints.
Where?
A good place to start is with an argument by Thomas Aquinas, the great 13th century philosopher.
Are we really going down this route again?
Oh, yeah, we're going down that road.
Wow, I was hoping it would at least be a new argument, but no.
And theologian.
It's the same Thomas
The argument
Aquinas
starts
shit.
with the not very startling observation that things move.
Things
but
move.
Nothing moves for no reason. Something must cause that movement.
Yeah.
And whatever caused that must be caused by something else.
Right.
And so on. But this causal chain cannot go backwards forever.
Why
it
not?
must have a beginning.
Okay.
There must be an unmoved mover to begin all the motion.
Man, I wonder if there was some event.
But
something.
The thing is,
Huh.
even if, like, I mean, obviously, modern science, cosmological models do have the universe having a beginning point. But the thing is that even if they didn't, even if the universe was just eternal, I mean, how can this person really say that he knows with any certainty that there could not be, that this can't just go back forever? There has to be a beginning.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know for a fact that there had to be a beginning. It could go back forever for all the fuck you know.
Yeah, he's not definitively proved what he's saying. I mean, he's going off a 13th century philosopher, which has just been. I mean, I do not know why Christians go and read the Thomas Aquinas and just go, oh, okay, now it's checkmate. You know what I mean? I just don't get it. I mean, it's been debunked so many times. It's like they take all these bad arguments, they repackage them, add some graphics, and like, well, checkmate, atheist.
Yep.
But here's the thing too: is like, okay, so we're going to talk about the beginning. I know I've made this argument a million times, but they keep making the same arguments a million times too. So I guess I have to keep countering with the same shit until they actually address it,
which they never will.
What makes more sense as a beginning? The fucking Big Bang, which is just a gigantic explosion of energy? Or God, a complex, thinking being with creative powers that can literally make the universe happen at his will, but only chose to do so either 6,000 years ago if you're a Christian, or 13.9 billion years ago if you believe in science?
You know, my football team did win, so I have to go with God.
There you go.
You know, like the team won.
I saw him pray, and then he fucking scored a major touchdown, and
Jesus,
goddamn.
guide the ball into the receiver's hand so my team fucking wins the championship. Oh, they did. Then I guess if you pray and it doesn't happen, then you can just go, oh, well, God didn't want them to win this season. Maybe next year.
God works in
mysterious ways.
A first domino to start the whole chain moving, since mere matter never moves
There
itself.
had to be an unmoved mover. It was
A
God.
modern objection to this argument is that some movements in quantum mechanics, radioactive decay, for example, have no discernible cause. But hang on a second. Just because scientists don't see a cause doesn't mean there isn't one. It
That
just
is-
means science hasn't found it yet.
Okay, that's a weak sauce argument. You're basically saying, like, scientists can't prove that this doesn't happen for this reason, therefore it must happen for my crazy reason. There's a magical man in the sky that makes this happen.
It's a total false.
Can't you see?
A total false attribution. I mean, it's like, come on. You know, scientists can't prove it, so it's probably God. I just... Why do they do this shit? Why do they do the same bad arguments over and over again? And
Hey, it's me, God of the Gaps. Pleased to see ya.
yeah, I mean, I know it's
Anything you don't understand must have been me.
like, what's the definition of insanity, or one of them? It's like doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. I think we kind of conclude where Christians are on that spectrum.
Maybe someday they will.
Is he going to make the watchmaker
but
argument
then
at
there will
some
have
point
to
too?
be a new cause to explain that one, and so on and so on.
Uh-huh.
But science will never find the first cause.
Right.
That's no knock on science. It simply means that a first cause lies outside the realm of science.
How do you know?
Another way to explain this argument is that everything that begins must have a cause. Nothing can come from nothing. So if there's no first cause, there can't be second causes, or anything at all. In other words, if there's no creator, there can't be a universe.
So how come the
But
creator
what if the
doesn't apply to this?
Because he doesn't exist in the
Yeah.
universe.
Who created the creator?
But what if the universe
creator
were
of the
infinitely
creator.
old?
Yeah. So someone created the God that created our universe, and then something created the God that created our God, and so on and so forth.
It's all turtles all the way down.
The universe were infinitely old, you might ask. Well, all scientists today agree that the universe is not infinitely old.
Okay, so we
that it
trust
had a
science
beginning
then.
in the Big Bang.
We have a selective trust of
If
science.
the universe had a beginning, then it didn't have to exist. And things which don't have to exist must have a cause.
Another
There's
another problem with
This
this.
is harping on it must have a cause.
Another problem with this is that this idea that everything had to have a cause comes from observing our universe, but we don't even understand what causality was or if causality even existed before the Big Bang. In fact, according to people like Stephen Hawking, there was no such thing as causality before the Big Bang. So positing a first cause is meaningless, because cause and effect is a property of the universe itself, and applying it to the time, or you can't even really use the phrase time, but before the universe, if there is such a thing, applying it to then doesn't make any sense.
No. From Big Bang cosmology, we now know that all matter, that is, the whole universe, came into existence some 13.7 billion years ago, and it's been expanding and cooling ever since. No scientist doubts that anymore, even though before it was scientifically proved, atheists called it creationism in disguise. Now, add to this premise a very logical second premise, the principle of causality, that nothing begins without an adequate cause. And you get the conclusion that since there was a Big Bang, there must be a Big Banger. But is this Big Banger
Big Banger.
God? Why couldn't it be just another
Wish
universe?
God would bang me. I think we've already pretty much made all the counter arguments to this that need to be
Guy is
made.
so stupid.
Because he's just proceeding under a false premise that causality is really needed to explain it, and then he posits a God that he doesn't explain causally. So it's just a pretty fallacious argument all around.
All right, we'll move on. This is a Christian pastor's biblical final solution to homosexuality.
Yeah, I shared this on my Facebook earlier.
It's the final
Solution.
Because remember, the
Kill the
title of the sermon,
homos.
Kill
the homos
because
now.
of the judgment of God. Now,
Yeah. Preach.
listen
Preach
to
it,
these
brother. Preach it.
statistics, my friend. First of all, approximately 1.6% of the U.S. population will identify themselves as a homo.
Boo!
And
As a homo.
0.7% are bi. Well, that means nothing to me.
Even
They're
worse.
all bi, as far as I don't. Anybody who's a homo or bi, it's all the same category. Sodomite.
Evil.
Is what the Bible calls
Evil.
them.
Sodomite.
And what the Bible
Get rid of
actually says,
Sodomite.
Leviticus 20:13, because I actually discovered the cure for AIDS. Okay.
Oh,
now,
thank God.
So wait a minute.
this
Wait a minute. So this guy is citing Leviticus.
This guy's scientific research cured AIDS, even though he hates all homosexuals. That's really great of him to do that.
He's citing Leviticus. He's about to talk about the passage where it's like, if a man lie with a
another-
man, stone him and kill him and all that bullshit. But he obviously doesn't follow Leviticus. He's breaking one of the rules of Leviticus right now. He's wearing he's wearing clothing of mixed fabrics. That's also prohibited in
Yeah, so
Leviticus.
his exegesis of Leviticus must be that all those laws still apply.
Yeah, so why isn't he following all of the laws set down in Leviticus?
Yeah, exactly.
Because either you got to follow them all, or
you
you're
have to
just
say, oh, Christ got rid of those laws.
or you have to
something,
just say that the whole book is just bunk because Christ superseded it or whatever. You can't just selectively take one thing and be like, well,
no, Jesus only got rid of the ones he didn't like, and then the ones that he thought were still good, he was like,
still keep the one about killing the fags. That's good. That's okay.
I like that one.
That's a good one.
This is the cure for AIDS.
All right.
Okay.
Scientific breakthrough.
And, everybody's talking about, let's have an AIDS-free world by 2020.
Yeah,
Let's
sounds
have an
wonderful.
Look, we could have an AIDS-free world by Christmas.
Wow. This guy's amazing.
Okay, it wouldn't be totally AIDS-free, but we'd be like 90-some% AIDS-free by Christmas.
pretty good.
If we would follow this. Okay,
no,
here's
you
what
wouldn't.
the Bible says, Leviticus 20:13. If a man also lie with mankind, as he lieth with a woman, okay, it says, even both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. And that, my friend, is the cure for AIDS. It was right there in the Bible all along.
Kill them
And
faggots!
Woo!
What? So there's no scientific announcement?
And lo, Jesus said, let them commit genocide. I mean, I don't really think I agree with what this guy's saying, guys. I don't know.
Now
I have a few objections.
We got some stones in the backyard, TJ. Might have to meet you out there in a few minutes. Want to, purify the world for Jesus.
Yeah, I'll tell you how to cure AIDS.
You fucking sodomite piece of shit.
Kill them all. Kill all the homos. Come on. Do it. The Bible says to. You can't deny the Bible.
I really can't. This guy said we could have like 90% of people with AIDS just, we could wipe it out. I mean, I'm sorry. I got to do it. I mean, I don't think you have AIDS, but, I got to do my part.
Yeah.
Jesus is going to fucking teach me a lesson if I don't. I'm going to go to the pearly gates, and it's going to be like, oh, didn't stone your brother. To hell with you.
Kill the homos.
And billions of dollars in research and
waste of money. Science
terrible.
bullshit.
Right there. Because if you executed the homos like God recommends, you wouldn't have all this.
Kill them. Kill them all.
I just don't believe that. Okay, well, let's get the statistics then. Since you don't believe what the Bible says, let's see if you believe science. Because this is what science tells us, that first of all, even though only, according to the Washington Post, that radical Christian conspiracy newspaper, according to the Washington Post, 2.3% of the population are homos. But 78% of new HIV infections among males are homos.
Okay.
Well, maybe we should, instead of killing them all through violence, maybe we should try to prevent that from occurring.
But if he's so in favor of killing homos, then why does he have a problem with HIV?
Yeah, you should be like, God.
Yeah.
Didn't the old line of Christian rhetoric used to be like, that disease is actually good?
It
fucking gets rid of all these
Why
faggots.
would he give a fuck about curing it when so many of them have it?
It's just a segue. It's just a segue into his thing. It's like, so let's stone them all, basically.
Stone them all.
It's so stupid.
By his line of logic, hardly any straight people have.
If anyone should be
AIDS.
if anyone should be stoned, I think we know who. I think the guy in front of us should be the one that's getting stoned.
And not in a good way.
No, not in that pleasant way of like, whoa, bro, Taco Bell.
Maybe he needs to be that kind of stone too.
Yeah, maybe if we give him some weed or something, he'll fucking he'll loosen up a little bit and stop being such an asshole.
Doom, 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 doom.
Alrighty, atheists, evolutionists. Gotta make one more video because I gotta get more of my points across.
All right.
Because I want to prove. When I prove, I want to show the world how ridiculous evolution is.
All right.
Atheism. Got a list here I wrote down.
Damn. All he needs to do to disprove evolution is got one little piece of paper, kind of folded it, was in his back pocket. He's like, oh, it's got to disprove evolution. Hold on a second. All right, here we go, guys.
It's like a crinkled up piece of notebook paper in his pocket.
Damn, man, is there some scientific equation you just came up with?
It's probably written in crayon.
Like mathematical equation, rather, that you're going to break it out. And it's like, oh, damn, evolution is false.
get this started. Part 2 of this rant. Most likely this will be my final one. I gotta speak up on this because it seems that people are too scared to speak up against these fucking atheist bullies on YouTube. Which brings us to number 1.
Give me your fucking lunch money, bitch. Atheist squad here.
I'm just a polite Christian. Shut up and give me your lunch money.
There's no God, bitch.
Yeah, because when I drive down the street, I don't see in America, I don't see a number of churches everywhere. I don't see, like, our society at every turn embracing Christianity and pushing it like everyone's a Christian and everyone wants to do this.
Yeah, and the atheist bullies, we stand outside of the churches and beat the shit out of people when they come out, like, hey, fucker.
No, it's funny because you'll see like an atheist billboard and it's like, how dare they?
Right.
It's like I have to see a fucking church like every day, every fucking time of the year. I'm not sitting there saying tear the church down.
I think we should just pick a random church and get a bunch of people to go there and like lock arms, like a bunch of atheists just lock arms and surround the church. Like, you can't come in today. We're atheists.
Nah, that'd be a lot of work.
No,
we gotta do it.
Much. We're just like, fuck them.
That's what atheists are. They're bullies. They bash other people for their beliefs. They're cyber bullies. I mean, that's all they do. If you disagree with them, forget about it. They'll fucking flood your wall on YouTube and Facebook. Fuck you, you Christian. Yeah, evolution.
Okay,
Charles Darwin for the win. Yeah. You're
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You're talking about biology, then you're talking about theology in the same... I mean,
fuck your religion, Charles Darwin, evolution, bitch.
If you put your opinions out to the public, what do you honestly expect? You could have the most nuanced, reasonable position, like, I like oxygen. You will have people who come and vehemently like, fuck you, I want fucking space to just rip fucking the stratosphere of the earth, to take any, atmosphere away, and I want us all to just be like, and just dead. That's what I want. You'll find someone with whatever crazy position to oppose you, no matter how reasonable you are on the internet. It does not matter.
Fuck it!
For a group that swears in their life that God does not exist, I mean, they sure spend a lot of their time.
That's not what atheists
A lot of their time arguing with, Christians and other religious folks.
Why are you
to try and disprove?
What hypocrisy? Look what you're doing.
Couldn't we just as easily turn around and say, like, for these people who claim not to care what us atheists think and claim they're certain there is a God, they sure spend a lot of time making videos that try to prove their God's existence when they should just have faith.
Right.
I mean, like, it takes two to tangle. I mean, it's like, you gotta fucking, you can't just have a one-way argument. You have to present your point of view before we can come present ours, or vice versa. It's not like there's just like we're just fucking angry in a vacuum and there's no response. I mean, we've seen videos just today that are addressing atheists, that are Christians addressing atheists, and that's what he's doing right now.
He's me. You see where we stopped it?
He's making the fish lips.
Yeah, he's making the duck face.
No, the duck face is a little more stretched out this way.
Yeah.
Duck lips. Fish face.
Duck lips.
Fish face.
Duck lips.
All right, that, hey, God is not real. That's all they do. They spend their time. They get along with the little atheist buddies. It's a religion. It's a cult. It seems that being an atheist now, it's the in thing. It's the scene, man. Atheism is all of a sudden cool on YouTube. Oh yeah, way to go. Fuck atheism and fuck the whole evolution theory.
Fuck atheism and fuck like the whole evolution theory, because they're assholes on the internets. You seen that shit? One time I made a video about God and he's all like, fuck you Christian, so fuck you atheist. That's what I say.
And the whole evolution theory.
That's bullshit, man. Fuck
Number
evolution,
two.
man.
You know what, TJ?
Somebody wrote to me that.
You know what, TJ? I got one thing to say to you. Evolution, bitch.
Evolution, bitch.
Evolution times 10, bitch.
Evolution forever.
Evolution forever times 2.
All right, I can't top that.
Science is good and medicine is
There's
good.
no number higher than 2.
I agree science is good. It's gotten us to where we are now. The car, the vehicle. All right?
The car.
Shooting rockets, flying rockets up to the moon. Science.
Did he say the car, the vehicle? Was he trying to squeeze in 2?
He's like sitting there like trying to struggle to come up with things that
Off-road
science
vehicles, ATV, motorcycle,
Yeah.
three-wheeler, anything.
There's like the car and like
The vehicle?
and
Like a,
rockets.
Again, look at this fucking...
What the fuck? And like TV.
Like the radio, Sirius XM, I don't know, McDonald's, everything.
Science, man.
This is good, of course. But medicine is good? No. Let me tell you something. Big Pharma, the pharmaceutical companies, are some of the most corrupt pieces of shit businesses that we have out there today. They don't make money from cures. No, they make money because they on your sicknesses. They depend on people to get sick so they can make more money off you.
Every animal
look at that.
that exists will get sick at some point. You know what I mean? Like,
so wait a minute. So he's saying that
there's a demand which is like for medicine, and they could like. It's just it's like now it's going to conspiracy. It's like every pharmaceutical company has a cure for every disease on like a shelf. Like, not going to roll that one out. I mean, I'm sure there have been things that companies have seen research like, hey, this could potentially cure this, and have not gone through with it because either it'd be too expensive or they wouldn't want to. I mean, obviously there's a profit motive.
Saying that the pharmaceutical industry is corrupt and saying that medicine is therefore bullshit
is retarded.
That's 2 different things.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like, if you come down with a deadly disease, like if this motherfucker right here,
yeah, I'm not taking any medicine.
Got some fucking disease that required regular medical treatment. He's not gonna be like, "Fuck you, pharmaceutical industry. I'll just die."
Why is he making this fucking face?
Fuck you, Pfizer.
Every time I stop it, he's making this fucking face.
Isn't it? Pfizer makes Viagra, right? You think if this guy had a limp dick and the only way he could get it up was Viagra, he wouldn't use it?
No.
I mean, almost certainly.
He would just pray for his dick
or
to be
Cialis
healed.
or something. He'd be like, "Fuck, man, I gotta, Jesus, please give me a boner again." Oh, don't yeah, fucking right. This guy is so full of shit.
Our food. Don't you get it? This is like a circle. Monsanto.
The circle
Did I
of
say it right?
bullshit.
I don't know what. I don't give a shit. But yeah, look at that. They put all this poison in our food. We get sick from it, and then they want us to fucking be on 20, 30 pills for a small little fucking fever. Get the fuck out of here.
For a fever.
What?
Let me tell you something. When I had kids...
What? They want you to eat the poisoned food, then you have to take 20 or 30 pills for a fever.
The food, Monsanto poisons the food, and then we
gives
get
you a
sick,
fever.
and then they sell us 30 pills for a flu.
I got a fever, and the only prescription is more Monsanto.
Oh, my.
Kidney stones, they wanted to give me a whole bunch of pills and shit, but I was already smart. I'm awake already.
I was smart.
Natural cures. Pure lemon juice, squeeze some lemons, the citric acid
Shove them
dissolves
up my
the
ass.
stones. You take
That's why. Hey,
magnesium.
that's why his face is always looking like that, because he eats lemons
That's
all
his
day
pucker
long.
Face.
He's
Oh,
just sitting
God.
there drinking lemon juice. This helps with my kidney stones. It hasn't yet, but it will soon.
It's not a GMO lemon, is it?
Yeah, he made sure to get an organic lemon.
There's recently someone I knew that died that was all into that. Like, he basically had like all his medicine. Like, he had like all these medicines, like these herbal supplements, and then he had his actual prescription medication. He stopped taking his prescription medication to take his herbal supplements, and he ended up in the hospital. I mean, he died. He was a really old guy, but it was just kind of funny that some people actually buy into this, and this guy's like, because he's young and he still has his health. Like, oh, I had this problem, but I just got over it. It's like, well, you're young and you're in the prime of your life. Like, in 30 years, if you say, hey, I'm going to be fine, I'll do my natural cure, you're going to end up in the hospital or fucking dead.
Vitamin B6 every day, forget about it. Your stones are gone. They wanted to put me on pills, do surgery, and this was like 5 years ago. I'm doing just fine now. So yeah, sometimes medicine is not good. I mean, look at the psychotropic drugs they got our kids on.
What?
They're fucking,
What?
hey, This kid's an orphan, CPS, we're gonna confiscate your kid, put him in a foster home, and put him on 30 more pills. Get the fuck out of here.
No, when has a
Right?
psychotropic pill ever been prescribed to a child for any reason?
Did he mean psychiatric?
I don't know. He said psychotropic, so
who knows?
I'm just going by what he said.
Who really knows?
And it's always 30
big pharma
pills.
Medicine depends. It can be good. It can
By
be
the way,
bad.
what does this have to do with atheism at this point?
Medicine.
I don't know.
Yeah, medicine can be good or it can be bad. Well, sure. I mean, if you don't need fucking treatment for heart disease and you take it, it's probably not the best idea to take medicine you don't need. But I mean, even if you go with what he's saying, like, hey, medicine can be good or bad. It's like every medicine has side effects, and if the doctor was just trying to help you because you had a problem and you came to them, if you don't like the solution, then obviously it's your choice not to get that sort of treatment. And maybe you did just get better, but if you had a kidney stone, it probably just passed out of your fucking dick, dumbass. It's like, now I feel fine. It's like, yeah, 'cause you probably haven't developed any fucking more.
Holistic medicine, that's the best way to go. Natural herbal remedies, that's all I gotta say.
No,
Number
wrong.
3, let me tell you what atheists like to do. They like to use large vocabulary to describe their silly little theories. You know? Oh no, we have...
There we go.
Your silly little theories.
What's he do?
Okay.
He just ate a big lemon. Fuck.
Okay, justatheory.com. It's and if you want the brief explanation, it's that he's misusing the word theory. He talks about vocabulary. Maybe you should actually look into what the fuck he's talking about, because if he's really butthurt and resort to semantics himself, maybe you should actually know what the fuck he's talking about. It's just a theory. It's not the word theory in here is not being used as a wild guess. It's not like a bunch of atheist scientists got in a room like, evolution? That sounds good, and that a few of them seconded it, and that was it. It's not how it fucking happened.
evolved from a common ancestor, which is the monkey, hominoids, aminoids, androids, and all that other shit. Pterosaurus, all this other bullshit. We evolved from. Get the fuck out of here. Let's keep it simple. They think we evolved from fucking monkeys.
No.
That's ridiculous, to be honest with you. It is. It really is.
No, it's not.
Number 4. Let me tell you how.
Some of us are more evolved than others. I think you're on the lower end of the spectrum.
It said again that humans shared a common ancestors with monkeys.
He's like, man, they all trying to use words and shit. Fuck that.
Get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here with them words.
That's like his main, just like he destroyed you. Get the fuck out of here.
I just dismissed your idea with the wave of my hand.
Get the
Therefore,
fuck out
you
of here,
defeated.
TJ. Get the fuck out of here, man. You don't know
what
anything.
Else is dangerous about atheism and evolution? Evolution.
I like how he keeps grouping atheism and evolution together like they're partners. You know?
Meanwhile, at the evil evolutionist atheist meeting, how can we spread evolution and atheism even more to our children?
We'll get them to be atheists, then they'll believe in evolution. Then we'll get them to believe in evolution, and that'll make them atheists. Wah!
You're wise, TJ.
Is what I call it.
Evolution.
They teach it as truth in the schools, but they use no evidence for it.
What?
You know, people have been tricked.
Okay, wait, hold on.
There's no evidence for evolution.
I think I know what's happening here. You know that part? You know when people come and talk to you and they spout all those big words that you don't like? That's them actually showing you evidence, and you don't want to listen to it because your fucking pea brain just can't immediately wrap around it. And anything that's fucking too big or complex for your stupid fucking ass, you're just like, no, I'm scared. I dismiss that.
Yeah,
That's bullshit. That's fucking fake.
What is DNA? I don't trust it. Some voodoo.
DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. Oh my god, that's way too many syllables to be real.
Evolution!
Evil.
Evolution.
In it have been tricked. It's a government-funded agenda. They removed religion from schools and put this silly theory in to go against God's word.
Yep. That's done what happened, man.
But he believes in holistic medicine, and isn't that not really close to... I mean, doesn't that kind of contradict Christianity in a way?
Shouldn't he be an advocate of faith-based
Doesn't
healing?
that contradict what he... I don't know.
Yeah, honestly, he should sit there and if he has an ailment, you're like, I have cancer. He should go, okay, I don't want any medical treatment. I want to pray to God.
Yeah,
and
he's practicing that holistic voodoo.
And eat some lemons.
Eat some lemons, take some vitamin B6, and you'll feel right as rain. The cancer just gone.
Cancer's like, oh shit, this guy took vitamin B6. I'm out of here.
Yeah, fuck, and B12 too? I'm done.
A skyrocket in atheism has come from this. Science is great, but evolution is not science. It's a silly theory by some scientist. Yeah, that's science.
It's not
See?
science.
It's not
it's
science.
A crazy
it's
theory.
a silly theory by some scientists.
By a scientist.
The scenario I just presented to you, like a bunch of scientists are in a room, like just spitballing.
It's not science. It was just come up. It's just.
How can we defeat the concept of God? We must put an end to the scourge of religion once and for all. I know. We'll call it evolution.
Right.
We'll say that man came from monkeys. Yes.
Good.
And that will undermine faith in Jesus.
By the way, I hate God and Jesus for no particular reason.
Me as well, good sir. Me as well. They're obviously real, but we don't. We
Quite
want
real.
to.
Quite
we want
real.
to suppress that information because we're evil scientists.
I didn't get a fire truck when I was 5.
Now's the time for our evil scientist laugh.
Said it was right, so we gotta believe him. The fuck out of here.
The fuck
Number
out of
5,
here.
Check this out. Evolutionists say that birds came from dinosaurs. That Aracipopes, whatever, Aracitoretes, I don't give a fuck what the hell its name is. But it was his...
He doesn't give a fuck what its name is, but it's not related to birds in any way, shape, or form.
He can't even pronounce. What is this with this new trend of people dismissing things that they admittedly can't even pronounce?
Man, I can't pronounce that shit. It must be fucking fake.
Yep.
Dinosaur with wings, and they said that birds evolved from that. Fuck that shit. You know what it was? That was a big giant bird. That's all it was. It wasn't no dinosaur with wings. Get the fuck out of here. And even if it was,
Get the fuck out of here.
Hey, birds did not evolve from dinosaurs.
What a compelling scientific argument.
Get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here.
Man,
I wasn't aware. That even trumps evolution, bitch. If you just fucking say, get the fuck out of here.
Dinosaurs. That's
I would
fucking. You know
love
how
to see this
fucking
guy
ridiculous that
debate
sounds.
someone like Richard Dawkins. It would just be hilarious. Like, man, you don't know shit. I'm gonna school you, son.
You know who I think would get along really well with this dude? G-Man. I think this dude and G-Man should do a channel together.
I think they should become gay lovers, but like, but no actual sex. Just be like, we love each other, but we know it's against God's commandments.
So they just kind of sit on a couch and stare longingly at each other all day.
I wish we could, but Jesus.
Then every once in a while they get drunk and there's a slip up, but then they just deny it the next day.
Did something happen? Oh yeah, we prayed. We prayed all night.
I think we prayed a lot.
Here's another thing, number 6. They
Floor
look
is
at
sticky.
fossils and they automatically determine an age. Hey, look, we found a fossil. That
We
fossil
automatically determine an age.
Does this guy know anything about science?
So wait, in his worldview, like an archaeologist digs up a fossil,
7,000.
looks at it, and it's like, I don't know, probably like 2 million years or something.
Yeah, that's good.
That's probably about right.
They just eye it up.
Yeah, they just eyeball it.
They eyeball it.
There's not like carbon dating and radiometric dating and all these other fucking dating methods.
I'm gonna go with 300 million on that one.
That like measure the decay of molecules and shit.
Nah.
That doesn't happen. It's
Poppycock.
it's just a bunch of guesswork.
Of course. Do you know anything about science, TJ?
Scientists just like, I don't know, 1 billion years. Who fucking cares?
This guy's saying some science is good. It's like, okay, but you make scientists into these buffoons who just like make shit up. It's just like, evolution.
If
exists.
scientists were really the way he said, we wouldn't even have any of the technology we have now.
No.
The car would have like square wheels.
It'd explode randomly.
Yeah. It'd be powered by flatulence. I mean, we'd have like total garbage technology. If the scientific principles were just like, let's just kind of guess and make shit up as we go. It's like, no, it's like I think it's religion and yourself that you're thinking
I know.
of.
It's like the ironic thing is that's him.
About 14 million years old, and they came from the Triassic period.
Triassic
Jurassic Park period. Yep.
Jurassic
Just by
Park
looking
period?
at it. Yep. That bone's about 20
guy-
billion years
the
old.
Jurassic
Get
Park
the fuck
period.
outta
Guy a
here
troll.
with that
Is
shit.
this guy a fucking troll from the Jurassic Park period?
He just said from the Jurassic Park period. Jurassic Park period. So what, 1994? Or was it 92?
93.
93. I was all around it. I couldn't sink the battleship.
From the Jurassic Park. Oh, man.
They claim it's from like the Jurassic
Number
Park
7,
period.
They can't disprove ghosts. Ghosts are
Shut
real.
up. This over.
The spiritual
we're done
realm
with this.
ghosts are fucking
No,
real.
no.
You know what? It was worth it just to hear the Jurassic Park thing.
I'm done with this.
Yeah, this guy's an idiot.
You love him.
I love him.
I'm going to use that from now. Yeah, it was in the Jurassic Park period.
This fossil's from the distant year of 1993. We think it's a hip bone from a Spielberg.
Yeah, it's made out of plaster. All right.
Christian Bale claims that Moses was schizophrenic and barbaric. And then on the other side of his mouth says that he doesn't know that much about Moses or the Bible. But despite his admitted lack of knowledge of the aforementioned, he's confident enough that he knows enough to assert that Moses was a schizophrenic, and he's able to come to that conclusion by reading the Quran. Bale's contradicting actions sound more schizophrenic than Moses ever did. And how the hell do you come to the conclusion that Moses was barbaric by reading the Quran and totally miss the barbarism of Muhammad? That's like trying to learn how to make meatloaf from a vegan cookbook.
So is he actually going to present these quotes so that we can actually see the context of them, or is he just?
I don't know. This guy always talks about how black people should support Republicans and shit like that. So he usually has some pretty weird videos. I don't know what he's about to say here.
It's just kind of strange that he's not presenting the quotes. So I'm assuming he's about to. I hope so.
Yeah, because I mean, this is completely out of context. We don't know what the context of what Christian Bale was saying when he said these things.
While totally missing how to make couscous.
I think what's happening. Propaganda.
Fuck all these liberals.
Yeah,
blow up the TV.
Yeah.
He's so hardcore.
Yeah, what the fuck? His TV's on fire?
He's like, fuck this TV.
He's just like nodding like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck you,
bitch. I show you, liberal America.
What the fuck? Yeah. It's like the most generic music.
Zonation.
I get it. The Bible's not good enough to read, but it's good enough to make money off of.
Yeah.
These Hollywood liberals are no better than the charlatans they accuse when they promote the idea that preachers just pass around a collection plate to satisfy their greed.
I haven't
and Ridley
heard.
Scott
Is that
takes the
Hollywood's
liberty-
official statement on religion or something?
Yes.
Like, I don't think Hollywood has, like, some set, like, there's no, like, they're hypocrites because they say this. It's like, when have they said that? When has Hollywood, as a fucking entity, made this statement?
Yeah, the Screen Actors Guild has to make an important announcement at 10 o'clock.
Fuck Jesus.
Jesus is a bunch of bullshit. If you go to church, they just want your money. Thank you.
We're the Screen Actors Guild. Every single one of us believes this. Also, the Directors Guild backs us up.
Woohoo!
To come up with a scientific explanation on the parting of the Red Sea. The Bible says that Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and all that night the Lord drove the sea back with a strong east wind and turned it into dry land. The waters were divided. Exodus 14:21.
If there was
Bible
wind
tells you
strong
how-
enough to part the ocean, people would be blowing around like fucking
Right.
crazy.
Yeah.
It'd be like, "Ah!" It'd be like a giant wind tunnel where you'd just be like flung at hundreds of miles per hour.
When the Bible is used as evidence, you pretty much just know, okay, like whatever this person is saying is wrong. Unless, they're trying to, I don't know. I'm trying to think of one instance where the Bible would be a reliable source of information, and I can't think of any.
Well, here's one if you're actually trying to remember something about the Bible itself.
Sure, okay, there you go, yeah.
But other than that, no.
No.
How it was done. Oh, but to Mr. Ridley, the wind doing that is just ridiculous. If he even
It
caught
is
on to
ridiculous.
that's what the Bible said. Like a lot of people, he probably thinks that the sea just parted and didn't notice that the divide was
I don't think it ever
wind-driven.
happened.
But whatever.
Never happened.
Forget what the Bible says. It had to be an earthquake. Side note, the theories of man are fallible and are always having to be updated. God's word never has to be updated.
Yeah, but it's not accurate either.
That's right. So when it's wrong, you have to bend over backwards to try and explain why it's wrong.
Well, they have to bend over backwards to explain why it's somehow not wrong.
Yeah, how it's somehow not
Yeah,
wrong.
listen to this sophistry, which makes it seem like this is right. It's like, I don't think you guys are right.
The Word of God does not ever have to be updated. Okay, well then why are there all these other Christian supplemental books
God
written
did not
down?
write the Bible.
Why do you have to be on here on YouTube explaining this shit to us then?
Yeah, shouldn't the truth
if
be
the Bible
self-evident?
is just so self-evident and stands alone and needs no update, then all any Christian should do on YouTube is just be like, just read the Bible. You'll see. Bye.
It was the big brains that said the earth was flat, when the followers of the Bible knew the earth was round. He sits enthroned above the circle of the earth, and his people are...
Before Christianity even existed, the Greeks knew the world was round. There's a mathematical equation.
Also, the Bible makes references to the world being flat.
Yeah.
Like Jesus, when Jesus ascends the mountain with Satan, it says that Satan shows him all the kingdoms of the world because they're so up high that they can see everything.
Yeah, they're like standing on top of Mount Everest and they can see the whole world.
And they say that
basically,
they say also that the earth rests on 4 pillars at one point, but then they'll just say, "Oh, that verse is just meant to be poetic." It's like, "Oh, okay."
Like grasshoppers. He stretches out the heavens like a canopy and spreads them out like a tent to live in. Isaiah 40:22. Long before scientists figured out that the world was round, the Bible told us that it was. Long before the scientists told us that the universe is expanding, the Bible told us that it is.
Where?
It did?
When did it do that?
And people throughout history that made those claims were persecuted.
Let's hear this.
The Bible says that the skies proclaim God's handiwork. With that in mind, the scripture reader could look at the sky and notice that the stars appear to be round, and that the sun's round, and that the moon's round, and it would stand to reason that the earth would be round too. The Bible points these things out, yet somehow Bible believers are the so-called...
What the fuck is this guy going on about?
When did the Bible ever fucking say that? He says the Bible says the universe was expanding, and then he fucking just sidetracked.
He didn't give us the verse.
He just sidetracked himself. Like, people see that shit's round, so they knew this was round too. No.
Flat earthers, when it was the so-called intellectuals who thought it was flat. And then later the scientists would discover things about the universe that the Bible has already told us. Anyway, Ridley wants to say it was an earthquake that parted the Red Sea. With all of the technology we have at our disposal, we still can't exactly predict when an earthquake will strike. But Ridley's brilliant scientific mind says that Moses can bring the Jews to the Red Sea right when an earthquake strikes, to drain water for the Jews to pass.
Well,
Ridley's rendition...
Maybe he's saying that God did it. I mean, it's a religious movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that he's probably just trying to come up with a plausible way that the seas could be parted and have it be ambiguous whether or not it was God or not, and let the viewer decide. But apparently you have an objection to that. So, I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen the movie, and neither has this guy, for that matter, because it's not fucking out yet.
Yeah, it's not out till, I think, the middle
So he's basically criticizing a movie he hasn't even seen for supposedly containing all these problematic elements when he hasn't even fucking watched the movie.
The one that sounds ridiculous. I'd rather stick to what God says. But here's another example of liberals taking liberties with the Bible. I'm just going to ignore what the Bible says and insert what I think it should say. Because
That's what you
I think I'm smarter than God. And I'll point it out again. This is what liberals do.
That's what you do!
No, it's a work of fiction. Who gives a shit if its fucking basis is the Bible? It's a fucking movie meant for entertainment. People are not going to go worship this fucking movie, you stupid fuck. I mean, give me a fucking break. Do you literally think people are going to go to the movie and be like, you know what? I'm going to discard the Bible now, 'cause even though I'm a Christian, I saw this movie. It's like, give me a fucking break. I mean, I understand maybe if you're trying to make the argument, oh, they're just trying to get Christians into the seats in the theater, but I mean, that's their choice if they want to go see the movie or not. I mean, they're always complaining it's not biblically accurate, but there's so many interpretations of the Bible. How could you possibly make a movie that's going to please every Christian? It's impossible.
All right. So you want to move on to the next thing?
Sure.
All right. So, do you remember the police officer that choked the guy to death?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's not going to be indicted.
Woo! Oh, I'm so worried about that.
Justice served
according
again.
to the Associated Press, has decided not to indict Officer Daniel Pantaleo in Eric Garner's death. That grand jury, by the way, has been meeting since late September. And Officer Pantaleo actually went before that grand jury and testified with his lawyer there. His lawyer was not allowed to talk or make any comments, but Officer Pantaleo apparently spoke for about 2 hours before that grand jury on November November 21st, right before Thanksgiving, and the grand jury was able to hear from him and his version of what happened on that July 17th. Other people obviously testified as well. This grand jury made up of 23 people. All those people, by the way, from Richmond County, which is Staten Island, and Staten Island known to be very pro-cop, pro-police, so it was Staten Islanders who were hearing this case on the grand jury. Grand jury proceedings happen in great secrecy, so we will never know who was on that grand jury unless they come forward, and we will not know the testimony that was made necessarily in that case unless, obviously, Officer Pantaleo or his lawyer starts speaking about that. Now, what you're looking at right now is...
What are we looking at right now?
I think this is where it happened.
Right.
A live picture of Staten Island, and this is where that incident happened on July 17th. You see some people have gathered out there. I imagine there's some reporters out there as well. And
this is the guy that was
selling the cigarettes,
and he was slammed down on the ground and choked to death.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he was there's no grounds to indict him on that.
It was all on video.
So, this is I'm just trying to remember this fucking case, because the memory I have of watching this video is there was this guy who was selling cigarettes, right? And the cop grabbed him and threw him on the ground and started choking him.
Multiple cops.
Yeah, and they were all fucking gathered around fucking his shit up, and then he died, and then they're not culpable for that at all?
No.
Okay.
I'm sure the argument
surprise.
I'm sure the argument they made was he resisted and they were doing anything they probably to get him under their control. Even though, I believe the cop that wasn't before the grand jury was I'm pretty sure he was there was something with him and police brutality before too. He had ended up being in a settlement. So I mean, this guy had a pattern of behavior, and yet again we see the police just
So I mean,
someone dies and it's just well, it's no big deal.
I mean, basically the message we get from our justice system in America is that cops can just kill anyone at any time for any reason.
Yeah, they're above the law.
And nothing bad will happen to them, ever, because they're cops.
Yeah, only in extremely rare circumstances.
You can see the camera crews there and some signs. We do know that, police are obviously very concerned about reaction to this news, and the NYPD has been preparing and planning for this day and the decision by the grand jury. And so we know that police officers are staging right now. They're in the Stapleton section along Thompson Street and preparing for this. We've heard this week earlier from Police Commissioner Bill Bratton, and he has said essentially that they're going to be prepared. They are going to handle this peacefully, hopefully as best they can. But the one concern they have is people blocking streets, and they said they are not going to allow people to block streets around the city or block any of the bridges.
Okay.
All right.
So yeah. So another depressing instance of the police can just murder at will and no one cares.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. It seems like a lot of people in this country do care, but apparently none of them ever get selected to be on grand juries.
Yeah, that is kind of funny how that works. All right, here's another cop-related video.
A tense exchange between a cop and a 25-year-old African-American man has gone viral after that man was stopped for walking.
The amazing atheist guy.
The amazing atheist
Shut up, Ben.
Around with his hands in his pockets.
Suspicious
that exchange
behavior.
Prompted by this 911 call from a very nervous store owner.
Black man with his hands in his
There's
pockets.
a guy that passes by 5-6 times back and forth, looking at us working inside. He looks suspicious.
Are you or anyone else in immediate danger?
No. I mean, I'm assuming, yeah, because he keeps going back and forth looking at us.
So that caller went on to say that.
Well, I
pacing.
mean, I guess at least there was a basis for them, going out there. But it seems like some guy that's nervous that there's a black dude around his store.
Okay, but I mean, I've been in parking lots where I'm just trying to kill some time, and I'll just walk back and forth, by the shops and shit.
Yeah, and people are like, should I call the cops?
No.
That dude looks crazy.
Well, obviously there's an element of racism to it, of course, but I'm saying at least there was some basis. The cop just wasn't I'm bored and I'm going to stop this guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That the suspicious man had his hands in his pockets, a description that led cops to Brandon McKeon. Here's what happened next.
All right, doing what?
We're walking by.
Okay.
Radio 12's out with that subject. Just
walking around.
Walking by and doing what?
Well, you're making people nervous.
By walking by?
Yeah, they said you had your hands in your pockets.
Wow, walking by having your hands in your pockets makes people nervous to call the police when it's snowing outside?
They did.
Okay.
So are you okay?
I'm fine. Or how about you?
I'm good.
All right.
What are you up to today?
Walking with my hands in my pockets. Walking.
Why the fuck is he holding up his iPhone?
Is recording him, I'm sure.
Oh, okay.
I guess the cops are like, we're going to record you, too. I don't know.
That's fine, whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I
no,
want
I
all cops to be equipped with cameras, so that's fine with me.
Yeah, I have no objection to that. But I mean, it's like the cop doesn't understand. Like, this guy is basically just walking around, and it's all like, what are you doing? It's like,
walking around with my hands in my pockets.
I don't have to fucking tell you that. I have fucking rights to privacy. Like, it's not the police's business if I'm walking around. What the fuck do you care if I'm walking
And it's
around?
cold outside.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what are you going to do? Our hands are cold. I'll keep them out so I don't make anyone nervous. Like, I'm going to put my hands in my fucking jacket.
Right.
Is that an inconvenience to talk to me right now?
Hell yeah, just because of the whole police situation going across the country, this is outrageous that you would let somebody tell you, oh, there's somebody walking down the street with their hands in their pockets. There's 10,000 people in Pontiac right now with their hands in their pockets, so how many...
You're right, but we do have a lot of robberies, so I'm just checking on you.
What?
You're right, but we do have a lot of robberies,
You got a lot of
dude.
robberies, man. You know,
You're right.
You're walking by
But there's
a store.
robberies, man. You know, and
You're black. You know, come on. We know you get
you're
it.
black, dude, with your hands in your pockets. You sound threatening. You're like, man, you got that voice, like a black man voice. That scares us, man.
We're scared. You got to take you down to jail.
We're just really frightened
And
right now.
it all ended peacefully. Joining me now to talk about this is that officer's boss, Sheriff Michael Bouchard of Oakland County, Michigan. Welcome, sir. I'm glad you're here.
Good morning. Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Enjoy my comb
You say
over.
the video was posted with an agenda. What do you mean?
Well,
so this is
video was posted. Well, of course, there's a fucking agenda. What does that mean?
You want to expose police harassment.
Right.
So anything with an agenda is wrong.
Yeah. This video has an agenda.
This video
it was
of a
posted under
factual
the header
encounter that
stop
happened
with
is bad.
because you had your hands in your pocket, and really that doesn't give the totality of circumstances, and that may not have been this.
He was also black.
Yeah. He was black. Come on.
You need to understand, this is a black man we're talking about here.
Oh, shit.
Individual's intent, but that's what some of the so-called internet journalists began to share, and that's how it began to get echoed and ultimately went viral. He wasn't stopped simply because he was walking on the sidewalk and had his hands in his pocket.
Hold on. Pause. That's actually what the officer who was questioning him said he was stopped for. So,
Yeah, I mean, he said, you're making people nervous. That's what he said.
walk around with your hands in your pockets. It's like that's what the cop said. So he's making like these crazy journalists on the internet are just making these wild inferences from nowhere. It's like, no, we actually just watched the video of what happened.
Yeah, the basis
These
was...
so-called internet
yeah,
journalists.
someone called in and said, there's a light-skinned guy walking by with his hands in his pockets. That was the basis. That's why the cop showed up. And he even said during the stop, you're walking around with your hands in your pockets. It's not like I said you're acting violently or fucking shouting at the fucking street signs. He's walking around. Who gives a shit? Unless he's committing a crime, don't bother him.
He was stopped because there was a 911 call from a business that described him walking past their window 5 to 6 times.
So what?
And this business or their employees had been held up 7 times.
So you're
they
assuming
were
that
afraid.
he walked around, he was going to rob them? I mean, you could say that about literally anyone. Hey, this guy went to the store 3 times today. I think it's a little bit suspicious. Let's call the police on him. You know what I mean?
I go to this gas station down the street all the time to buy my cigarettes, and there's like people that just hang out in front of the store. You know, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
are all those people like threats that might be trying to rob
Yeah.
the store and case it and
If
shit?
you view every person as a threat, sure.
There was an imminent armed robbery. So obviously they called 911, and it's our job to respond to 911. So in the totality of circumstances, I think most people say, yeah, the police have a duty to respond to 911. And quite frankly, I think everybody did their job here. The public, we always
But there's
ask,
also
look, if you see
discretion.
something that makes you afraid or suspicious, call us. And we'd rather check out 100.
No, don't do that.
Should there be discretion in these kind of situations, just because like someone makes a call doesn't necessarily mean you think we have to respond to this or this is valid. I mean, maybe that's the policy there and they have to, but
yeah, I mean, like if someone calls and says like someone walked by our building a few times, I'd be like,
is it 3 in the morning? You know what I mean? Like if the business was closed and this guy was doing this, I could understand. You know what I mean? Like we're closed and the guy keeps looking in the building. That's one thing. It's the middle of the fucking day.
yeah, so I mean, like, I just don't understand. Like, I don't understand what's wrong with telling people who call 911 with non-valid complaints. Like, that doesn't sound like anything. Call us if there's something actually happening. But then I guess if something actually does happen, then it's like the police just ignored our call.
Yeah. So I mean, I will give them that. It's kind of a double-edged sword. If they don't go to the call, then it's like, oh well, something bad happened. Why didn't the police respond? It's their fault. So I mean, I do admit in some circumstances the police are kind of put into an impossible situation. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not taking away that the American public in general are a bunch of cocksuckers, because they are. But I mean, at the same time, this is clearly the only reason it was called is because this guy is not white. If this guy was a white guy, no one would have called, or it's very unlikely.
All right, so before we move on to the next video, everyone that's watching right now that isn't subscribed, feel free to subscribe. Hit the like button if you like the video. We've got 2,700 people watching right now, so everyone that likes the video, please hit the like button.
Like us.
Yes.
Click like if you hate TJ.
We'd like you to like us.
Yeah. TJ sucks. Click like.
The notion that white cops are out there just killing black people, that's ridiculous. It's just flat out ridiculous.
There's no excuse
Ridiculous.
for those people to be out there burning down people's business, burning up police cars. That serves no purpose. That's like them jack who are looting. Those aren't real black people. Those are scumbags. So it's a dirty.
So I have a question. Like his opening premise, like police aren't just shooting black people. I mean, like the shit we cover on this show week after week seems to contradict that. So that's first of all.
Police don't exclusively shoot black people.
Sure, I mean, there's plenty of white people they shoot that didn't deserve to die.
Yeah, and of other races. But I mean, the police do get away with killing lots of people, and even if they don't kill them, they get away with police brutality. Like someone pisses them off, so they slam their face into a cell door. Like, I'm gonna teach you a lesson for being uppity. I mean, how many instances of police brutality do we have? I mean, not even excluding just the deaths. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Pretty dark secret in the black community. One of the reasons we're never going to be successful as a whole because of other black people. And for some reason, we are brainwashed to think if you're not a thug or an idiot, you're not black enough.
Can you hit a child?
He's a white guy, I'm a black guy. I don't know where he's from. I'm from the South. Whipping is, we do that all the time. Every black parent in the South is going to be in jail under those circumstances. And women be milking that baby thing, too. Oh, okay.
So is this like just a montage of stupid shit Charles Barkley has said?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Can't be nearly as bad as playing a basketball game with a sprained ankle.
Hey, Chuck, come on. Why you never buy a woman a watch?
Say it again,
Why you never buy a woman a watch?
Because there's a clock on the stove. I'm a black man. I use the N-word. I'm going to continue to use the N-word with my black friends, with my white friends. They are my friends.
Okay.
They are my friends.
Okay.
Like, all right, that's your choice.
So I think what we can take away from this is that Charles Barkley is kind of a moron.
Right.
And not much else, really.
All right. Yeah, it was just something interesting that...
It is kind of fun.
Yeah. Okay.
I hope he's president someday, because he could be the next. He could be the next George W. Bush. He could be Black Bush.
Black Bush?
I like
that.
that.
Yeah.
Black Bush.
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah.
Unresolved Problem segment tonight. Every Christmas
every
season.
fucking Christmas.
There are people who try to diminish this.
Every Christmas season, there's your retarded bullshit about the war on Christmas that doesn't even exist.
Oh, and he's gonna address that kind of.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
celebration of Jesus' birthday. We all know it.
Happy birthday to
we do
Jesus.
have a whole bunch of war on Christmas deniers who say that I and others are making the whole thing up.
You are.
Here's the first evidence this year. A billboard put up by an atheist group telling children to skip church on Christmas Day. Nice, right?
Yeah.
Billboards are run in a number of states.
It is pretty nice.
A lot of atheists feel alienated at this time of year, and we want them to know that they're not alone, and that it's okay
Despicable.
to admit and that there's no God, and to be open about that.
You're disgusting. Bruh. So his evidence that there's a war on Christmas is that there's people out there who disagree with his point of view.
Yeah, and make billboards.
Yeah, there's a billboard in some states.
Yeah, somewhere.
Therefore, war on Christmas.
Psychotherapist Karen Ruskin, who is agnostic. I cannot understand for the life of me why anyone would bother trying to diminish the federal holiday of Christmas, Doctor. Why do they do it?
Because they're
Here's
assholes.
why. When you feel like you are in the minority, you experience the desire to try and push, to sell your product, if you will, to sell your belief in a loud way to others in order to make yourself feel better, to validate
So, hold on.
your view.
Why are if it's just a case of the minority that wants to push its belief on others, then why do Christian billboards outnumber atheist billboards hundreds and hundreds to one?
Yeah, just drive around like in like the Appalachia area. You see those billboards everywhere.
Just drive through any community and see how many churches you see.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, churches, billboards, signs like "Repent now" and
Christian bookstores.
Yeah, giant crosses. This shit's everywhere in America. And these
But then atheists put up a couple billboards. They're like, they're trying to push this on us. Oh my God.
Christmas.
The war on Jesus himself.
To make sure others hear you.
I don't, you know, but it's so counterproductive if you look at it
Indeed.
just from an objective point of view. Putting up a sign like this
objective
just
Bill
makes people
O'Reilly.
angry.
It's just to make Christians angry. So what if Christians get angry? That's what they're taking away from it. Maybe that's good that they get angry, and maybe they should actually question their beliefs from time to time instead of just blindly believing in bullshit.
Agree with you, all right, because they feel they're being insulted, and they
Who
are. It's an
cares?
insulting sign, is
Who
it not?
cares if they're insulted? I'm
Wait.
insulted by Christian signs.
How is it any more insulting than a sign that says, like,
because-
you're going to hell?
Exactly.
Horrifically insulting. It's really disrespectful, but not unlike the bully who tries to push other people down.
The people who live in parts of the world where they don't have Fox News probably can't fucking believe that in America we actually have news like this.
Yeah, this is on TV and
like
people
this
watch
is news.
And people take it seriously.
Yeah.
Not very many, but some.
There's quite I mean, like, this is the highest rated cable news program.
Right. More people watch this than CNN or MSNBC or any other news television channel. But you also have to remember that it's a lot of old people.
In order to make themselves feel better, that's what's happening here.
So your theory is that atheists don't feel very good about themselves because they don't believe in the deity?
That's not even of the stupid shit she said, that wasn't it, but okay.
Bill's like, you don't really know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm gonna steer the conversation in this direction.
Well, no, not all atheists are as nasty as what's happening here. Some atheists have a true belief that there is no God, and they
That's
feel very
wrong.
comfortable with that. But there are others who have a very uncomfortable
Do they
belief
just
about
like
it.
interview people like, so you're an atheist or agnostic? Yeah. Okay, let's see how stupid you are. Oh, you're too smart. Okay, you're dumb and don't understand what atheism's about. Yeah, yeah, put that one on.
She's a psychotherapist, according to the thing at the bottom of the screen.
The first two syllables are right.
Yeah.
They feel the need to push others down, and that's the group that you're seeing here. A group of people all coming together in a gang-like format in order to push other people down. But not all
gang-like
atheists are like that.
format?
What a fucking crock
Because
of
they
shit.
put up a billboard that said that you should skip Christmas
Okay,
because religion
so
is a
are
fairy
Christian
tale.
groups gang-like formats? Like, this is a gang.
Do you have to like
I'm
get
not-
beat into atheism? Like
Yeah.
a bunch of atheists like beat you in?
Dude, next time I
to
see
the
a group
gang?
of Christians around, I'm going to call the police. There's some gang activity going on right now. I don't know what's going on. They're kind of unsavory. They're talking about some Jesus guy. I don't know. Some shit. Please go arrest them.
Yeah, they came to my house. They knocked on my door. They started trying to pressure me into believing in this God character.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm afraid.
Why would that bullying group, and I don't think there are that many of them, but there are some prominent media people in that crew, why would they say, you know what, this isn't classy, it's not a nice thing to do, our Christmas traditions, children love them, families get together, gifts are exchanged.
Okay,
it's
but it's not about the religious connotation. It's about kids want fucking presents. No kid is like waking up on Christmas like, I'm so happy Jesus was born today. Said no kid fucking ever.
Right.
More like, what the fuck am I getting? When I was a kid, I was like, man, I want some fucking presents. I want some fucking candy. I want some fucking food. I want some shit. You know, like, briefly, like, this was Jesus' birthday, too. Yeah, it's great, Mom and Dad. You know, whatever.
That's cool.
You know, like, whatever. That's a nice aside.
A season of generosity and goodwill toward men. It almost seems sadistic that you would try to hammer down something like that.
Such a victim.
Isn't that so sad? When I work with families in which one member of the family unit is atheist and the rest are not, they have this relationship dynamic exactly in which you are describing that's happening with the media and with others who are not atheist. And it is very upsetting in a family unit when you have one person shouting loudly in their nasty way about how everybody else in the family should be believing what they're believing.
What? Wow, let's straw man all atheists. Like, people like our family believe in God, and I don't go down to Louisiana for Christmas and go, hey guys, this is a bunch of bullshit. Fuck what you believe. I just go, if someone asks me, or asked anyone here, I'm sure we just say like, okay, I don't want to talk about that, or like, you know, I don't believe in that, but if you believe in that, that's fine. Let's just celebrate Christmas as like a family gathering, not a religious event. No, you know, and if it really came to that, no, it has to be celebrated religiously, I'm like, okay, then I want to leave.
I think that it's far more often the case that religious families pressure atheists to believe than the other way around.
Not at all. No way.
No, you're lying.
It's
I don't know.
Christian bullies, the bully group.
That's what I'm saying. It seems so ridiculous that like the atheist in the family is going like, Christmas sucks. I don't believe in Jesus. and the Christian members of the family, come on. We just want to have a nice Christian holiday together in peace and generosity and charity.
That's all bullshit because there's no God.
Fuck you, Mom and Dad. You can't
Pushing of other people down, the nastiness, the sign that I saw with the little girl, quite frankly, is very symbolic for how paradoxical it is. What I mean by that, not to be all psychobabbly here, what I mean is the sign has a little girl who's saying, all I want for Christmas is not to go to church. What's Christmas? Christmas is all about the celebration of Christ. But now what she wants for Christmas...
Wrong.
Wow.
Incorrect.
Where do they find these Fox News people?
I think they must create them in a factory
I know.
somewhere.
It's like, what the fuck?
Attack of the Clones.
Is not to go to church. So that's very confusing, which once again shows why there is an emotional confusion for some who are atheists in their need to push their product to others
real fast.
to help themselves feel their rights.
Okay, everyone here is an atheist, correct?
Yes.
Okay, TJ, do you celebrate Christmas?
Pretty much.
Ben, do you celebrate Christmas?
Very lightly.
Yeah, I'm saying, but like, do you acknowledge like, okay, it's a holiday and you don't want to work or you don't want to do anything, right?
Right. I don't give a...
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, but like, you don't celebrate Christmas because like, and think, oh, I'm celebrating Jesus' birth. It's just like, I'm celebrating this fucking bullshit holiday, which all holidays are just like, society has picked days where we just don't
arbitrary day where we do some strange shit.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the context people celebrate Christmas in. It's not, I mean, sure, some people go like, I'm going to go to church, but many people celebrate Christmas and have no religious beliefs at all.
Right.
You know? So what? And like these people are acting like, oh, that doesn't exist.
You probably know that we've done this over the years, and we point out we won the campaign where the department stores were ordering their employees not to say Merry Christmas. That's over with, and it was because the people said, you do that, we're not going to shop at your store, so that went away. But it's...
Taking on
I know tomorrow you're going to get the nasty little things in the media. Oh, here's O'Reilly with the war on Christmas, the phony war.
I like how they speak about the media like it's a separate thing from them. They're not part of the media.
They're part of the media.
Fucking media. Unlike us here at Fox News, we're not part of any media.
Yeah.
Fair and balanced.
if somebody denies global warming, they're all over them, but it's right before your eyes. There's the sign. What generates that denial?
Yeah, well, just like any type of denial, if you don't allow yourself to believe a certain reality, then you can stay in your belief system. Like anything.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow, it is
And the
unbelievable.
award for most ironic comment ever goes to Karen Ruskin, psychotherapist.
Yeah, no shit.
I think we just need to end there because
That's beautiful.
That's
yeah.
perfect.
What else do we need
That
to
was
say?
just beautiful. She said it all.
Thank you, Karen Ruskin.
I have a Glenn Beck video. You want to watch that?
No.
No?
I just want to take a break.
I don't know, TJ.
It's 9/11, so that's a sign.
You don't want to see Glenn Beck, TJ?
Maybe when we come back.
All right.
Okay.
We shall return.
The Drunken Peasants shall return. If you want to support us, please donate to our Patreon at patreon.com/DP.
Also,
yeah.
smoke lots of pan. And subscribe to our channel.
Do.
Subscribe or we kill TJ.
And those of you who are already our
We'll kill TJ if you don't subscribe!
Shut up. Those of you who are already our patrons, be sure to check the Patreon stream regularly for updates about our secret show that we're doing this month for patrons only.
Secret.
Yeah.
All right.
$9.99.
$9.99, Michael.
$9.99.
Just $9.99.
$9.99, Michael.
$9.99.
You're stupid, TJ.
$9.99.
Hey, TJ.
$9.99.
You are garbage, TJ.
$9.99.
Glenn Beck says that we could have handled Ebola if we just followed the Bible.
Shit.
So today the Bible's
From
giving
the
us the cure
general
for AIDS
population.
and now Ebola.
So if we honestly, you want to know the best way to protect yourself against
digging the fuck
an
out of that
outbreak like
sweater.
this, quite honestly, pretty much keep kosher rules. Go back to the simple things of the Bible and wash your hands several times a day. Make sure that you're keeping, basically keeping kosher rules. Those were there for a reason.
And put your cheese and your meat in separate refrigerators.
Yeah, I don't know about that part of it.
Yeah, don't know about that part of the Bible.
Yeah, be kosher, except for that part.
Yeah, that's a little bit
That's
extreme.
kind of crazy.
I don't like that one.
Follow the kosher rules of the Bible, though. Hold on, I was making a point before you interrupted me. Brought up that other
Yeah,
bullshit.
lovable
I think
scam.
that is one of the kosher rules, though. Is like
Yeah,
keeping
it
the meat
is.
and the cheese
It
separate.
is.
Be kosher, but not that part.
Don't think that's necessary. But honestly, so I was talking to Franklin Graham last night, and I said, so tell me about the washing of the hands thing. And he said, actually,
pointless
it's not just the
infinity shot.
water. He said, there's enough enough chlorine in our water that it will actually, it takes very little chlorine to kill Ebola. And he said, so when we're going in and out of...
Was that in the kosher rules in the Bible, too?
Yeah, there was a lot of chlorine in their water as well.
Yeah, chlorine.
Chlorine in your
Easy,
water.
easy way to deal with that problem.
I remember when I'd go swimming in a swimming pool that had too much chlorine in it, just make your eyes burn like crazy.
Oh, yeah, and your hair feels
Yep.
like all weird
Yep.
and like dry, yeah.
these hot spots, he said they put giant trays down on the ground and they just pour chlorine in it. And and then he said you're sprayed down with chlorine. As you're going in and as you're coming out, they spray you down with chlorine.
Sure.
And he said chlorine kills it instantly. I told my wife this morning, I said, I want you to run to the store and pick up some more beer from me, woman. And when I get home, I want it on the table. But I said to her,
buy me some
go
chlorine.
to the store today and get several
scrub myself with
gallons
it.
of chlorine.
Yeah, he didn't. He was joking about asking her to get him beer because
But he was serious about the chlorine
About
thing.
the
though.
chlorine.
I need some chlorine, in case it's a Ebola thing.
Yeah.
It's out of hand. It's
Yeah,
like,
because that's such an imminent threat that could be so potentially devastating. All those, 2 cases we had in the U.S.? So horrible.
Stock up on chlorine.
Stock up on chlorine, everybody.
And just have it. Because I don't know what's coming.
Just walk around with it?
Yeah.
Is that what you told her to do? Yeah.
I told her to
just walk around.
I
Put
told her
chlorine
several
in a little
gallons
Mio
and
pack.
and bring it over here and invite Pat to
Squirt
over
it
for
in
a
my
drink.
drinks.
It'll clean up. You got bugs living inside of you. Oh, this is going to clean you right out. No, seriously. I mean,
It's a good idea.
It's bleach, so you're
Yeah.
No,
going
it's
to
not.
have bleach, but there's no reason not to have it. People in Texas.
Have it because there's no reason not
There's
to
no
have
reason not to
There's
have
no
it,
reason.
man.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason not to have a bunch of guns. I mean, someone could break into my house any moment and try to kill me. So I just need to defend myself against every threat I can possibly imagine, Anywhere you go, like I'm in my
It
car.
reminds me of the episode of the Family Guy where Peter buys volcano insurance.
it. Yeah.
That's kind of like what this is right now. This is volcano insurance.
Okay, so I think it's time to just have the fucking picture contest. There's 19 of them. We're going to show them in order from 1 to 19, and then you can go to the link in the description of the video to vote for the one that you like the best.
Yeah, so today you guys decide which is the best.
Yes.
All right.
But you have to remember the numbers.
The number
Because we're
of
showing you
the
1 through 19 here.
Here we go.
Okay,
Now, starting, let's see, with number 1.
Number fucking 1. I think we need to go back.
You want to go back?
Because we barely saw that.
That was Okay, so what? Do you
They're
want me
going by too fast here.
Okay, you want me to make the time longer?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit longer.
Because we need time to, like, comment on this shit.
Okay, fine.
They're just, like, breezing by. People aren't even going to be able to remember what number is which.
Okay. All right. We can...
Fix it, Ben.
Ben's
Okay.
Make it better.
Yeah, okay.
There we go.
Hold on. I'm going to set it for a longer time period. Okay?
There we go.
All right. Here we go.
I smoke weed every day.
All right.
Okay. So this is like Thanos.
Scotty as Thanos, basically.
And then TJ, you're the raccoon. So this is 1.
I voted for that one so far. I am Ben.
So this is number 1.
Yes. And then this is number 2. I think this is Minecraft.
Someone built this in Minecraft.
Yeah.
Someone built a Scotty thing. So that's number 2.
Is Scotty pissing?
It looks like he is pissing, yes.
Yeah. So number 2.
And one leg appears to be far longer than the other. Unless that's just a matter of perspective.
This is number 3, Sistine Chapel.
And there's Cena in the background.
Yeah.
This did not take much effort on this person's part, though.
Very little effort. Well, at least hopefully.
Number 4.
I, Scotty Von Doom, have finally taken over this planet. Cena sent something. Tell me, can those drunken peasants see the glory that is Doom? Negative. Targets do not have visuals. This is just, I guess I'm the king of the moon. And Scotty is this giant serpent that encompasses the globe. And what number is this?
Number 5.
This is number 5.
Yep.
This is number 6.
Number 6.
I guess that Scotty has his own slave army of Cena clones.
Pope Scotty with his Cena guards.
He's just like, yeah. And Cena's wearing a court jester hat. That's a pretty nice touch. And I guess they're fanning him.
Here's number 7.
Kaiser Scotty, Grand Gnome Emperor of all.
Is he missing an arm?
Yeah, missing an arm.
I guess you are. I don't know. He doesn't really look like the king of the universe there.
There's number 8.
And they did a gender switch on Scotty and gave him boobs.
Yeah.
And a dildo. And he's riding Cena. Into battle. And it says, no, you can't.
No, you can't. My time is now.
Number 9.
I'm the Cena doll.
This is number 9. This is actually not Scotty. That's Cena Scotty. Or Scotty Cena.
Scotty Cena with Hitler saluting me on the Death Star on like the Game of Thrones throne.
Number 10.
Mass murder pills.
I guess
He's riding a fucking giant fat version of me, like fatter than I've ever been, with a ball gag. And he has an eye patch. That's pretty neat.
11.
Who am I fucking in the background there?
Fucking some
Am I just fucking some random? Is that John Boehner? I'm gonna go with John Boehner until I hear otherwise.
12.
What is this, number 11 or something?
No, this is 12.
12. This is number 12.
And then you and Ben are having sex.
13.
This is number 13. Drawn so well it looks like pictures straight from the internet. Fun fact, John Cena lives where this crazy woman was flying to. Okay.
No idea.
I don't even know what that's supposed to mean.
14.
Obviously drawn by a brony. Unless it was actually a girl. It looks more like me because he looks fat.
15.
Bring out the Cenas.
Kill babies, rape ponies, destroy America, fuck Obama.
Evil list. If the next thing on his list is to fuck Obama, why is he wanting Cena?
16.
I guess they try to draw him like a generic badass video game character.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Or is that based on an actual character? If so, I'm not familiar with it.
17.
As Scotty wills, the universe obeys. I bet Scotty wishes that were true.
That would be pretty sweet, I have to admit.
He's not really doing much more than he regularly does, though. He's just yelling at the mic.
18.
What am I?
I don't know, but it looks pretty...
Oh, I'm one of the flying monkeys, I think, from The Wizard of Oz. And you're the Emperor from Star Wars.
And here's 19.
Evolution, bitch.
That's pretty awesome.
That was number 19. I would say number 1, but it's up for the people to decide.
Hey, TJ.
Yeah?
I want to announce a new contest.
I thought you were going to say Jesus Man for a second.
Yeah. Hey, TJ.
Hey, TJ. No, I want to announce a new contest with a $25 Amazon gift card prize. And it's, I want you, anyone in the audience is free to do this. Draw TJ and Ben in admiration and devotion, like to Cena. And I will give you a $25 Amazon gift card for the best one.
Okay. Our devotion to Cena.
Yeah, basically like something that is, showing TJ and Ben's devotion to Cena and their love for him.
And as we said before, you guys can go vote on the best one down below in the poll.
Right. The voting's going crazy right now. And I'll give a hint right now. Number 1 has a dramatic lead.
It was really good.
All of you that opposed number 1 should probably cast your votes. I guess we'll revisit that in a moment.
Yeah.
So let's move on, I guess, to what are we doing today? Questions or ads?
Questions. Ads will be
on Friday.
Friday.
Sweet.
Friday.
The stupid ad segments are awesome.
Yeah, they're great.
All right. Here we go.
Hello, Drunken Peasants.
Shut up.
A very, very simple question for you. Basically, where do you see
Who's your
religion
daddy
going
and
in
what
the
does he
next
do?
5 to 10 years? Personally, as a teenager and the younger generation, I see a lot more people who are questioning their beliefs, a lot more people who are coming out as being atheists.
Lies.
And certainly a lot more people who are just drifting away from religion and all of that kind of stuff. So where do you see it going? Thanks.
I don't like to try to predict the future too much based on present trends, because I think that you just end up exaggerating whatever your perception of the present is and saying that's what the future will be like.
Sure.
But there does seem to be an ongoing trend of people becoming more secular in their thinking and finding religion less and less useful to their lives.
I think it has to do with the rise of the internet and the free exchange of information is a big part of it, I would say, because if you've noticed, this trend is kind of started with kind of like our generation, you know what I mean? And now it's kind of progressing. A lot of, especially the younger generation I've seen, even in the stories we've covered on this channel, having younger and younger kids, well, I'm agnostic or I'm an atheist, it didn't really seem like religion has kind of the same hold it used to. And I think the internet is probably one of the main driving forces behind that.
But you never know. I mean, it could be that all these young people are atheists now, and then, in 40 years, when they're old and they're dying and shit, they're like, oh, my God.
Yeah, we never know.
I need to make my peace with religion and Jesus and whatever else.
Or it could be just kind of embracing, almost like you could say, a secular spirituality, maybe I don't believe in that, but I do believe in, something like that, something, nebulous, you know what I mean? Like
the Deepak Chopra version of God, where,
exactly.
God is consciousness.
Yes, I mean, religion is obviously going to evolve at the same time, you know what I mean? They're not just going to be complacent. They're going to be like, oh, shit, we're not getting as many people to come here anymore. We need to figure out some new fucking scam.
Be like the new pope, where you just fucking...
Everything's fine.
No, he just goes around and he's like, everything that you knew about the Catholic Church was wrong. Check this out, bitch.
I call him the PR pope.
Yeah. He's trying to drag the church, not into the 21st century, really, but just into the 20th.
Hey, Drunken Peasants. 2 quick questions. First, how did Ben and TJ first meet? And second, when is Venom Fingers going to be on the show again? I really enjoyed the discussion he had with TJ, and I think...
Okay, so...
I don't think anyone really... TJ, do you think that you should tell the story of how you and Ben met? I don't know.
It's a pretty crazy story.
I don't...
Why don't you tell the story, Scotty?
All right, well, I mean... I guess they're here, and I guess there's nothing that can really just stop me at this point. I guess Ben could just, unplug the mic or something, but TJ and Ben are actually both, Furies. Furries.
Furries?
Furies?
Furies, I'm sorry. Furries.
Oh, we're furries.
Yeah, you're furries.
We're Furies.
You're furious. No, but they are. They actually met at a convention. They were actually... if you've been to a Comic-Con, there's artists that go there and stuff, and they draw, pictures of, maybe He-Man or whatever. And TJ and Ben were actually reaching for the same picture of like a naked platypus. You know, at the same time, their hands kind of met, and they kind of just looked at each other like deeply, and they're like,
I'm a fury.
yeah, yeah, exactly. You're a furry. So basically, they kind of decided, well, we can't both have the same one. Why don't we split the cost and go back to my hotel? You know,
and we'll just jerk off to it together.
You know, basically,
Yeah.
I'm not sure whose hotel they ended up going. Probably, you know, Ben's, because TJ probably stayed in like a shitty hotel. So they went, to Ben's hotel room. They took turns jerking each other off to, the picture. And there was so much semen accumulation that it caused an electrical fire. TJ luckily happened to have a craving for probably like some, what was it like, TJ? You said it was like ho-hos or something, some fucking generic fat candy. So he was at a vending machine. Luckily for him, Ben, unfortunately, his face was horribly scarred and disfigured, and that's why he never appears on camera. But that's kind of how they met.
I see.
Yeah, that's kind of the story.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
All of the events he just described are true and accurate, to the best of my knowledge.
Drunken Peasants here with another question to the Drunken Peasants.
Okay.
Or I guess you could call me Towhead. So you can have a counterpart to Egghead.
Yeah.
I thought that comment that TJ described my head was funny, so just throwing you guys a
The yin and yang
complimentary
of Drunken Peasants.
name to call me.
Did you say something about his head?
Yeah, I said his head looked like a toe. Because it does. Just look at it, It's just the way his neck relates to his head, and then the general curvature on the sides of his head just makes it look like a toe. Like, I just want to imagine a big toenail sprouting out of his forehead. Hey, dude, next time you do a question us, can you draw, like, a big toenail on your head? Or even, like, make one out of paper and put it on there?
Sure.
That'd be sweet. And if you could shave all your
Anyway,
hair off, it
two
would
questions
help
for
the
you guys.
illusion a lot.
One to the almighty overseer of the universe, Scotty. No, it's actually the overseer of the podcast, Ben. I noticed the episode 46, part 2.
Oh,
of
shit.
The podcast
Are we getting these kind of fans now?
that got flagged, and I'm a bit disappointed because that was when you guys were laughing at Mike McFadden running for U.S. Senate, and I just loved that because based on the fact that you guys ass kicked by Al Franken, and I also sent that video to you guys, so I get like a kick out of that every time I see it. And I wish I could see it now, but it's
question
flagged.
video
So
at some point.
if you could edit that and put it back up, that would be awesome.
We cannot put it back
And my
up.
second question.
So what's the response to that, Ben? Since that was
There are just some videos that we can't put up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And if we put them up, we can face the total extinction of the channel itself. So
No.
Total
exactly.
annihilation.
When we get flagged, we don't use... we haven't been flagged in a while because, we've learned what YouTube will allow and won't allow. And, it has nothing to do with Ben or anyone else here specifically. It's YouTube's policies. If you have a problem with that, then you have to take it up with YouTube. You can't say, we'll put it back up. It's like, we put it back up, the same exact thing will happen. So, our hands are tied.
Our tans are hide, motherfucker.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
What's up,
Fuck
Drunken
your
Peasants?
second
My
question,
is for
towhead.
TJ.
Boo!
Would you consider bringing back the Distress Watcher?
No. TJ's dead.
I do want to do some more entertainment and movie related stuff, but I probably won't do it under that moniker any longer. I'll probably just do it under my name or something.
Okay.
Hey, Drunken Peasants. I'm here with a question
Drunken
for
Peasants.
Ben. Because he's the
Boo!
most consistent host. I'm just kidding. It can be for any of you guys. I thought this would be
Ben runs
fitting,
the show.
You got
considering
us,
the
buddy.
Drunken Peasants.
Take a sip of your fucking beer.
What's your guys' favorite beer? I hear you guys, especially Ben.
Favorite beer.
Ben, you're the one that's all into beer.
I like it changes. Like right now I like Golden Drac.
Golden Drac.
Golden Drac.
What about Silver Drac?
I don't think there is such a thing.
Oh, well, there should be.
What about you, TJ? Do you have a favorite beer?
Aluminum Drac.
Aluminum Drac?
Yeah.
How about Lead Drac?
No, I'm not into that one.
Yeah, you like that kind. Gives you headaches.
God, that's a fucking tough as shit. Like, I like Lambic. I do like Golden Drac. What is that fucking one beer with the hard to pronounce name, Ben? Like Weihenstall or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another good one. I
yeah.
also like some like the Abita Purple Haze. I like
Miller Lite.
Yeah.
You're banned. Fuck you.
Natural
Leave.
Light.
Bye.
Miller Lite is the best beer there is, buddy.
Dude, I remember I had Miller Lite one time when I was like fucking 18. I'm like, oh, there's beer in the refrigerator, and I'm fucking like, I took a sip of like, what the fuck is this? And I just dumped it out. I was like, and I went to my mom and I was like, how the fuck can you drink this shit? She's like, it's good. And I was like, man, I officially knew my parents were idiots at that moment.
Fuck it. Bud Light with lime.
Oh, no thanks.
Strawberry Bud Light.
We're hipsters now. We're like, oh, regular beer. Oh, God.
It's only regular here where we live.
That's true.
Yeah.
Every country has their generic beer. Like, what is it in Canada? Like Molson or something? I've
Yeah,
seen
they have
that.
a few.
When I've gone to Canada, I've seen, like, do you want Molson? It's like, no.
Yeah.
Like, that's just your
Get
fucking
that shit
that's your
away
fucking
from
Budweiser, you know what I
me,
mean?
motherfucker.
I don't want it.
Next.
Budweiser. TJ, so I thought this question was a bit interesting. If you had to
You
have
are wrong.
altered
Is she on a UFO?
Yeah, she is.
and you were forced to pick one religion to believe in, which would you choose and why?
If we were forced to pick one religion to believe in.
TJism.
How about an actual religion?
She only said
that-
Ben and TJ, so I think for this purpose of this question, I don't exist, so I don't have to answer it.
Okay. If you don't want to answer it, you don't have to.
I don't exist anymore.
Okay.
I'm no longer a host on the show.
I'll be a Satanist, so I can serve my dark master. Serve the Dark Lord Satan. Scotty's camera is pointing down now.
That sucks. I could have just turned the camera off.
No, Ben. That's not how it works.
Don't exist.
So what religion would you be, Ben?
Pentecostal.
Maybe Pentecostal.
Pentecostal.
It's pretty hard. I don't know.
Would you just go back to being a Catholic?
Yeah, I guess, because that's the one I know the most.
Because you already know how to run it. You already know how to run with that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so.
I'd be a Jedi.
Probably make your parents happy or some shit.
I'd be an Illuminati Jedi.
Illuminati Jedi? I'd be a Jedi. Can I be a Jedi?
No, it's not. Just think in terms of like major.
It is actually considered a religion, I believe.
Someone
you
must
can be a
believe it.
Jedi. You know, you might not have all the powers, but you can still do it.
Bullshit, I'm getting the powers. Fuck you.
Fuck you, TJ.
All
Piece
right.
of shit.
I'm gonna use the telekinesis to fucking throw your ass around the
Drunken
house.
Peasants, I'm just finishing up with my best lovers, Cena and G-Man. But anyways, my question for you is, do you think military service should be mandatory?
No.
Yes.
No.
Send everyone to die now.
Nope.
Send TJ and Ben to the front lines. Hurry up.
The front lions.
I didn't say lions. I said lines.
You said lions.
No, I
dude.
fucking didn't. You're fucking stupid.
You said front lions, man.
Front lions.
You're full of shit.
Front lions.
Growl.
Growl. Next.
Whatever.
Hey, Drunken Peasants. I was just wondering if you guys had seen one of my favorite shows, True Detective, and what you thought about Matthew McConaughey's atheist character.
Never seen it.
Matthew McConaughey. Hey.
He's in our intro.
Say, man.
That's the best thing he ever did.
Yeah.
It's our intro.
Yeah. Thank you.
I think Matthew McConaughey should win an Oscar for being on our intro.
He was in those Lincoln commercials, too.
He's
like, you can't go back.
Yeah.
But you can.
Good job. Matthew McConaughey.
Hey, Drunken Peasants. I got in a fight with, well, not a fight, but a
Oh, so the story's changing already.
This guy's a fucking liar.
I know.
Punching holes in his own fucking story.
little argument with my friend the other day.
You killed him.
And the argument
He's
was
dead.
basically about the Star Wars prequels, and he argued that the prequel trilogy was better than the original trilogy.
He's a fucking idiot. He is a fucking moron beyond. Okay, you should have just stood up wherever you were, like if you were standing or sitting or whatever, and you should have just been like, "I'm sorry, you're an idiot. Our friendship is over. Goodbye," and you should have just left. If it was at your house, you should be like, "Please leave."
Even if it was your house, I'd leave because I would
Yeah.
not live in a house where those words were uttered.
Burn it.
Burn
because the
house to
special
ground.
effects were better, the fight scenes were better, and overall it looked more modern than the old movies.
Well, no shit. It
despite-
was made more on a more modern time period.
I don't even agree that the special effects are better, though.
The fight scenes look over choreographed.
Right, they look like a fucking ballet routine, and the special effects looked fucking cheesy as shit.
Yeah, look at the first prequel. Look how bad Jar Jar Binks looks. Like, if you played the game Oblivion, he looks like that. He looks like the characters in the first Oblivion game. The special effects do not hold up at all like the original Star Wars.
Like, it is weird because, like, even if you watch, like, Terminator 2, which was made, you know, several years before.
Yeah, sure.
Or even Jurassic Park. Like, Jurassic Park was re-released in the theaters with no updates to the special effects or anything, and it still held up pretty well. But you watch the Star Wars prequels, and it looks more dated almost than the original fucking movies. Because at least the traditional effects, you can tell that it's something that's really there on the screen. In those prequels, everything is so CG, even the backgrounds and shit. And it looks kind of like it's not even well done. It's very cartoonish and inept, which is strange since Lucas owns the fucking biggest special effects company in Hollywood.
Well, did.
Used to own.
The fact that he's obviously mentally deficient. Do you think there's any redeeming qualities to the Star Wars prequels that would warrant more than one watch?
No.
And on a completely unrelated note,
I've seen all of those movies multiple times.
You guys have...
I went through the same process with every prequel, though. I went and saw it I kind of would watch it, and I'd be like, you know, I'm not really enjoying this, but I must just not get it, you know? And then I'll fucking convince myself I like it for a short period of time afterwards, and then I'll just be like, oh my god, that was so bad.
No, I went to see, me and you went to see, we're like falling asleep in the theater. We're like, oh, it must be because it's late.
Yeah.
Two guys that stay up late all the time. Like, yeah, it must be because
we were
it's late.
making excuses for how boring it was. We're like,
You wanted it to be a good movie.
Right. Oh, yeah, of course.
Desperately.
I freely admit it.
You blamed yourself.
I freely admit it. At the time, I was such an apologist. Oh, it must be the moon. It must be something. The drink's kind of off. You know, whatever. Anything.
It's not Star Wars.
Yeah, it's not Star Wars' fault.
I would say the one redeeming fucking aspect of the prequels to me was
Metachlorians.
Seeing the rise, yeah, Metachlorians. But seeing the rise of Palpatine was actually pretty cool. I think that was actually not too poorly done. I almost wish that would have been more of the primary focus, but whatever.
Padme, where's Padme?
Where's Padme?
In your anger, you killed her.
No! The whole theater erupted with laughter.
Yeah, that was great.
I wonder if Daniel had been in that theater. I'm talking about Mr. Repsy on here.
Yeah.
No.
I wonder if he would have cried if they were like with it. He probably would have got like angry with the people laughing. Like, how dare they laugh at this dramatic, important moment?
Didn't you recently get into it with him about lightsabers?
Yeah. We were arguing about the practicality of the fucking new lightsaber, because that was like one of the things the nerds of the internet decided to argue about this week.
Yeah, because why not?
Yeah. And, you know, my contention, all I said was, like, it looks cool, but it's kind of impractical, because, like, okay, you have a lightsaber, every other Jedi that has a normal lightsaber can do the wrist, like, this wrist motion and, like, spin it around and shit. If you have this stupid laser cross guard that limits the amount of motions you can do, and if you accidentally do one of those moves, you're way more likely to hurt yourself with a laser cross guard,
right,
than you are your fucking opponent. But it's like, oh well, it's supposed to stop their lightsaber from fucking getting to you. It's like, you know, look at all these old swords had cross guards. It makes total sense. It's like, yeah, their cross guards weren't made out of fucking laser.
Right.
You know? If your cross guard actually accidentally bumped against your hand, it didn't fucking sear your fucking flesh off. So, yeah.
Hello there, Drunken Peasants. I got a few questions for you. First off, what do you think about the rumored Dragon Ball Z movie? I know last time you said it was awesome in a lame way. What do you think of the concept of a Super Saiyan Jesus? I'm
not even...
Super Saiyan Jesus?
Next question.
Yeah, no answer. It's stupid.
Hey, Drunken Peasants. I was wondering what your opinions are on nuclear energy. Smoke pan every day.
Nuclear. Not a 3-syllable word, but nuclear energy.
Yeah, nuclear
energy. You know, obviously it has a lot of advantages, but it seems like it poses a lot more risks too. Like we've had
look what happened in Japan.
Chernobyl, we've had Fukushima. You know, I don't know that human beings are yet capable of really controlling that form of energy.
Then there's the kind of the waste issue still too. It's like, what do you do with the the waste byproduct of creating the energy in that way, like the uranium? And it's, I mean, you obviously have that problem, and it's like, where are we going to store this shit? You know what I mean?
Just bury it deep in the desert.
I think that's kind of what they do now.
Yeah, that is what they do now.
But I mean, there's advantages to it, but I mean, there's also disadvantages. So I mean, I don't really know I'm not an expert on that. So I mean,
right?
What do you guys? It's pretty much that's it.
Yeah.
It's like, do you think we should use it?
I mean, we already use it, and I don't know. We don't live too far away from nuclear power plants. There's a lot of them up off of Lake Erie. They have a lot of them up there.
I can't wait for a nuclear disaster to happen there, and us to all be irradiated supermen. Maybe a spider will
That's
bite me.
some serious
and I'll have,
optimism.
I'll have some powers and shit. Shoot webs out of my
Diabetic
arms.
gamer.
Hello, Drunken Peasants. I'm Diabetic Gamer, and I have a few questions for you today.
Okay.
What the fuck am I doing? What's your favorite Quentin Tarantino movie?
I'm gonna go with Django Unchained.
Django.
I know it's kind of weird to answer like a director's most recent movie, but I was just like so perfectly entertained by every second of that movie.
I think Inglourious Basterds was my favorite. Ben, do you like Quentin Tarantino?
I prefer not to answer.
So no.
Ben doesn't want to answer.
Question number 2. What's your favorite Wes Anderson movie? Question number 3.
I don't really like Wes Anderson's
Yeah, I'm not a
movies
huge
too much.
fan of his. I mean, like
I
like
like
some of
them,
but
shit, what was that one?
I like the most recent one I saw. What was that? God, what was the
Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yeah, I like that one.
I haven't seen that one.
But I'm like kind of like you. I don't really have a favorite one.
My favorite was Rushmore.
Rushmore? Huh.
I actually thought that was before he got a little too crazy with his like hyper stylized shit.
True enough.
I don't know, like I think a lot of directors that have like a unique vision end up like becoming parodies of themselves, like Tim Burton, because their vision you become so
unrestrained.
I mean, it's not even a lack of restraint, but it's just like it becomes old hat. Like you can only do this. Like, look at how crazy and unconventional this is.
But you know what? I would argue.
But once the novelty of that wears off, it's almost like, ugh.
But I would argue that it is kind of an unrestrained approach because when they start off, they're a lot more accountable to studios and people financing these projects.
Yeah.
As they become more established, people are like, just throw money at them; it's going to make some money. So I think it is kind of lack of like other opinions coming into the their vision, so it becomes like hyper stylized or becomes over the top or becomes just something that's like you said, almost a caricature or parody of what most people would find to be like an entertaining movie. That's why they become niche films ultimately.
Next person.
Hey Ben, TJ, and Scotty. A quick question for you guys tonight. If you could select one person from history and they would have to truthfully answer one question, who would that person be?
Slap them?
He said slap, and then he said they have to answer a question honestly.
That's awesome.
I have why don't you go ahead, TJ?
I don't have mine yet, so you go.
Do you have one, Ben?
No.
I would ask Stevie if he ate the donut.
You would use your opportunity to ask a historical figure, like...
That would give me the most joy of any, ask, Julius Caesar, how did it, slap him, how did it feel to cross the Rubicon, you know what I mean? Like, you could do some shit like that. But it's like, it'd be funnier to do it to Stevie.
What do you mean, if he ate the donut?
Yeah, no one knows this story, Scotty. You gotta tell the story now.
You're better at telling stories than me, so why don't you do it?
Oh, my God.
You're much better at telling stories
All right.
than me, easily.
Well, one time, me, Scotty, Stevie, and Galen went to go get some donuts from Dunkin' Donuts, and each of us got 3 because it was a dozen donuts.
Sure.
So, we all picked our own. We all picked 3 fucking donuts that we were going to have once we got back.
Pretty fair, right?
And as we're driving back from the Dunkin' Donuts...
Wait, once you walked back, remember, because it was so close to the hotel.
Right, because it was so close to the hotel.
This was when TJ was getting married.
Right. So, Stevie was carrying the donuts when we walked back, and he was eating donuts like the entire time we were walking back. And we finally got back, and I think that one or two of Scotty's donuts were just gone.
No, my donuts were just gone.
No, you had one. You had at least one of the ones.
Oh,
you
bullshit!
got.
I had none left.
All right, I remember it differently, but
or whatever.
At least one of Scotty's donuts was fucking missing.
Exactly.
Is the point? And Stevie was just like, I didn't eat it, and we're like, Stevie, you had the box. No one else has gotten in there.
You were shoveling donuts.
You were fucking shoveling donuts down your throat indiscriminately.
Like he literally was just reaching in the box like, wow.
I think you ate Scotty's donut, dude. And he's like, Galen did it. TJ did it.
And I'm like, no, they didn't. It was
like,
you.
No, we're pretty sure it was you, Stevie. And he ended up throwing the box of donuts on the ground and be like, "Fuck you guys! I'm telling my mom."
He told on us.
Tell him how old he was at the time.
19. And so we get a phone call. My mom calls me up and is like, heard something disturbing. So apparently you guys are picking on Stevie and making fun of him, giving him a hard time. And it's like, no. Stevie's fat little ass came into the fucking room, ate my fucking donut, then, or at least one of my donuts, denied it, threw the box on the ground, ruining the rest of the donuts, and then told on us like we're fucking 10. And we were kind of laughing. We thought he was joking. He's like, I'm going to tell on you guys. We're like, we're adults. What are you talking about? Are you fucking joking? And he was serious. And I've confronted him even last time I went to see him, TJ. Like it was like October or something. I'm like, Stevie, just admit you ate the donut. No, Gil, I swear to this day, Galen still ate the donut. I'm like, you're a fucking liar. That's why I picked Stevie for the donut.
Hey, TJ.
I
just want to say that your videos have helped me out so much.
Doesn't really look like they've helped that much.
I know.
I don't know. What was he doing before? Smearing shit on himself?
And drinking Pepsi.
Drinking lots of Pepsi.
Lots of Pepsi.
What the fuck is he chewing on?
Oh, God, TJ, I love you!
He has a can of Raid up there, too.
Marry me, TJ.
There's Raid and Pepsi.
Probably because to clean his room.
Pepsi and Raid.
They helped me with
chewing more.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right, goodbye.
Yeah,
Taking too long.
Bullshit.
Hey, Drunken Peasants. Greetings from Denmark. I was wondering,
we have ginger ale
what is
here.
your favorite guitar tuning? And my friend has another question for you.
TJ, what is your favorite Scandinavian country and why?
TJ, do you have a favorite Scandinavian
you know where
country?
Scandinavia is?
I hate the entire world. Isn't Sweden one?
Yes.
Yes.
Then that one.
That one.
I am from Sweden.
He's like, yes, look, he guessed. That one. I don't want to mention. All right.
We're back?
Yeah, we lost connection for a second.
I don't even know where we were, so let's just go to the next one. Oh, wait, he had a good question about your guitar tuning.
Yeah, I just like to tune in standard tuning, and sometimes I'll tune everything a full step down.
There you go.
Each string.
There you go.
All right.
Hello, Drunken Peasants. I was
The
just wondering what
Satanic
you think
Bible.
about Satanism. Not like theistic Satanism, but Lavean Satanism.
Right.
Well, TJ, you actually read the Satanic Bible, so...
Didn't you read it too?
I've read it before.
I've read it.
I've never read it. I have better things to do with my time.
It's pretty fun.
What are some things like don't waste meat?
No.
That wasn't one?
I don't think so, no.
I think actually LeVay did say that.
Well, he might have said that, but it wasn't like one of the Satanic 11 statements or some shit or any of that.
What was it? Wasn't there shit about psychic vampires and shit too?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is shit in there about psychic vampires.
I mean, I've heard about this shit because obviously I was 13 once too.
The 11 satanic statements I would put up against the 10 Commandments any day, though, as a source of morality. Like, they're actually much better rules of conduct for the most part. But You know, I mean, Satanism is almost like a parody of a religion.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean,
Pretty much.
that's kind of like the approach Anton LaVey was taking was like, I'm going to almost parody religion with this. And that kind of seems to be what the tradition that modern Satanists are taking, like, you know, especially those very tongue-in-cheek ones that do things like hand out satanic flyers in schools to exploit these legislations that were supposed to enable Christians to do that. They're like, okay, well, you want to hand out your religious bullshit, we're going to hand out satanic shit to your kids.
I do like that. That's pretty hilarious.
And I think that's actually pretty in keeping with the spirit of Anton LaVey's version of Satanism. Although maybe it's a little more liberal-minded than he would have been.
Hey, Drunken Peasants. I was hoping you could talk a little bit about your history watching wrestling. Did you watch it growing up? Did you start later? And
I watched it growing up.
I watched it during that time period where it was ultra trendy, and then once me and Ben became friends, I kind of started getting slowly back into it. At first, I was just like, I'm just going to watch the pay-per-views, but I've noticed I've started watching Raw, too.
Yeah.
So it's only a matter of time before I'm fucking watching SmackDown.
I can't even bring myself to watch that.
I think I'll end up watching it.
Oh, man.
You suck,
Because it
TJ.
seems like they're actually starting to do actual like plot development on it.
They've got you hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, you're a sucker, TJ.
But I don't watch any of the wrestling documentaries that Ben watches, though.
Oh, you're next.
That'll be next on the list.
who are some of your favorites, excluding John Cena, of course?
Who's our favorites? So yours is probably The Undertaker.
Mine is definitely The Undertaker.
Yeah, I'm
is
gonna go
my
with Undertaker
favorite.
for sure.
I like.
It was always my favorite.
Mick Foley in pretty much every incarnation, but especially Mankind. And I really like the Rock and Sock connection back when they had that.
What about classic wrestlers?
I like Savage.
Ben likes Savage.
Yes.
Macho King.
Of the classic
Macho
wrestlers,
King.
I don't know. Because I mean, really, the Undertaker was around even then for the most part.
Yeah, well, in the early '90s is when he
the
came
early
around.
'90s. Yeah.
For '80s wrestlers, I don't know. Probably like Andre the Giant. I remember really liking Andre as a kid.
Yeah, that's true. I remember you talking.
Because I was
about
bigger
that.
than everyone else in my school and shit, and I kind of admired the fact that he shared that in common, even though he was much larger than I'll ever be. But, you know, I kind of, I guess, related to that. So I thought he was pretty cool, especially when he was a bad guy.
Howdy, Drunken Peasants. I'm back. Sorry I missed the episode before. Lightning struck and my modem exploded. Anyway, my question this time is, what is high school like in the US? In Australia, we get a lot of the silly cliche movies about all the drama and the cliques. I will say here in Australia, it's not quite as cliquey as the US movies show.
Australia.
But
Australia.
Australia.
Mate.
I like that she's drawing a lot of butts.
Just like, what's the question?
Yeah, I don't think her modem exploded. I think she just like spent all of her time drawing asses.
Good times.
And just forgot
Yeah.
what was going on.
If I want to see her apartment or house, probably just cover with scribblings and drawings, and she's just like, TJ.
I would say, I forgot what her question was.
I fucking called it. He's like, asses.
What? Seriously,
What's
what was
high
it?
school like in the U.S.?
Oh, I made a video about that.
Was it clicky for you?
I mean, obviously those are exaggerated, but it's definitely based on reality.
And that was the last question.
Show's over. We're done. Evolution, bitch.
I give up. I'm defeated.